Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection. We are here live at the Best 100 FM studios in Kingston, Jamaica. Good morning to the listeners who have joined us on air and online, and a very pleasant good morning to those in studio with me. I am one of your two hosts. My name is Minette Lawrence and Pastor Percival Palmer, and I will take you through the morning. Good morning, Pastor Percy.
Good morning to you.
You're not giving
Good,
people that sweet good
good,
morning
good,
that you
good,
gave me.
good, good morning.
You knew.
For he is good and his love endures forever. Good morning to everybody who is listening to us on the Morning Connection. Indeed, we count it a privilege to be in your ears, whether you are on the bus, in your taxi, going to work, driving the taxi, in your car, getting to work this morning. We welcome you for joining us this morning. And we trust that today will be the beginning of the rest of your life. So we give God thanks for this privilege of just sharing with you this morning as we give God thanks for what He has done today. And my friend is all dressed in gold, and I says, I love your outfit this morning. And she tell me something, but I will not repeat it on air because she's my very good friend.
No,
But God
Percy,
is
when
good.
you say you won't repeat it on air, you make it seem like it's something unmentionable. I told him I am
But
running out of clothes.
oh my
That's what
Lord.
I told him.
So are we gonna begin a close drive for my friend Minute? I don't think so, but I think I understand. But God is
No, it
good.
just means I need to go to the laundry. How about
Okay.
that?
But that is a
Yes.
better
We
way.
don't need a close drive.
Yes, But she looks fantabulous. I like it.
I need a sponsor,
I
says the
like it.
producer.
I like it. I like it. I
I
like
don't
it. You
know.
never know.
It's not the right direction. You can't we're more as Percy said, more fantabulous things and say I need a
Oh
sponsor.
no, she looks fantastic. If you see us online, and I'm sure that our friend
You're thinking
Brown,
no,
Mr.
no, they're
Brown,
curious.
Mr. Brown, what
Hold on a minute.
out of Canada will pick us up.
Oh,
Because of he always says, "Oh, you drinking a coffee this morning?" Right? So I'm just loving that. But it is
hey, so
indeed.
where's your beverage?
It's right here, man. It's right here. It's
Okay, because that's kind of the new normal now.
the new normal.
The
So we
new
give God
normal.
thanks for taking us through the night, taking us through yesterday with all of what happens. And I am, I'm giving thanks this morning. Um, a lot of the times in the Psalms, we read different things. Like in Psalms 106, it says, "Give thanks to the Lord, for He is good. His love endures forever." And yesterday, that truth um, came to life again in my own heart as I spoke to somebody, and I says, "Let's hold this intention with what you are thinking. Remember that God is love, and His intentions towards you is from a heart of love." And the person looked at me, and they began to saw the
Right.
tears just coming down. I said, "Yes, that is true. With all the things that are happening to you this morning, I just want to reaffirm to you that the God that you say that you serve is a God of love. And with all of what's happening, it comes out of a heart of love towards you. Just remember that." So when you're going through the situations and we go through the valleys, and some of the times you're up on the mountaintop, the thing that is constant is God's love towards you. And I just want to remind us as persons who reside in the island of Jamaica, or those of us who are in the diaspora listening to us online, remember this, that God is love. And that has not changed from the beginning of creation to the very present time. That the God that you say that you serve is a God whose heart towards you is just full of love for you. So if there's anything this morning, I want you to remember that God loves you, and He loves you with that intention that is so pure. And we are up on our 6:30 break as we remind people this morning that God loves you in spite of everything that is happening to you.
Seniors, the Ministry of Labor and Social Security is advising that the November 2022 payment under the Social Pension Program is now available for collection. Check your text messages to confirm your payment arrangements. For further information, call 876-922-8007. The Social Pension Program, caring for our elderly. A message from the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, providing opportunity, stability, and social protection.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-3825-8 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Veteran Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Veteran Printers, your best choice in printing.
Ready, mama. Ready. Is this the confusion you feel when trying to work your way through medical systems in Jamaica? Try a dose of Ask Dr. Mary every Thursday at 5 to 6 p.m. Let Dr. Mary help you understand your medical problems and bring you to a calmer place.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Lady the Queen of the South, and I'm inviting you all to trailblaze with me on the best of the best radio station, the Best 100 FM, Mondays through Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. You can't afford to miss it on your airwaves. Yes, trailblaze with Lady Lee right here, Mondays to Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. on the best of the best, Best 100 FM. Yeah.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on the Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning and welcome back. So, Pastor Percival started off with it sounded like a word of encouragement for a specific individual, but that is of general applicability. The reminder that Jesus loves you, that God loves you, was really what he said. It's one of those statements that many people say, and it is a great opening line to any kind of evangelistic encounter. And to most people, it's meaningless because without an intimate knowledge of God, you don't have a sense of what this love means and how the knowledge of this love can take you through periods of rough times. And even before we kind of gain our footing this morning, I feel like it's necessary to talk about what is on the front page of one of the local papers. It is a murder suicide, a report on an apparent murder suicide event in Mandeville. Beautiful young couple, both in their 40s, dead. And as I read the details of the story, the thing that I suspected is true, namely, although they were in the process of getting a divorce, they were still living together. So in the course of the morning, I'm going to invite Pastor Percival's input from the other professional position that he occupies. What is it? Psychotherapist,
Counselor.
psychologist,
Counselor.
counselor. What is? Where does the counselor stand in the mental health hierarchy? Ground floor.
I don't I don't know how to respond to that, counselor.
No, because
The
you say I say in psychotherapy. I mean, they're all forms of psychotherapy,
yeah, but
but you hasten to say counselor, and because I can stand at the side of the street and counsel somebody or counsel my child or counsel a friend, and I need no professional accreditation.
mhm.
You kind of made it seem like.
That's what I was doing. No, I was.
But you're busy spending a fortune getting some very specialized education.
In terms
So,
of that, but it is
so
when
it must be somewhere
yes,
in the chain of command. Where is it? One step from the bottom. One step from me talking to my child lovingly.
probably 3 or 4 steps up from you talking to your child lovingly.
All right, okay. So I'm gonna
And
invite
the
you.
clinical psychologists,
Mhm.
you have
And the
guidance counselor
the,
working.
the clinical psychologist can what give you a prescription?
No, the only person who probably would be able to write a prescription is a psychiatrist who are medically trained doctors, but who
Okay.
do psychology as a result. But clinical psychologists normally work with disorders, the DSM.
So meaning someone else
hmm
has diagnosed a disorder
hmm
and the clinical psychologist
work you through the
work you
plan,
through.
the
Yes.
goals, the
In
therapy, what
in
you need to.
in counseling, you
We
don't
do.
need to have a confirmed disorder. You just need to have a sufficient disturbance of the mind to require
Yeah,
external
because
help.
the truth is, yeah, um, um, it's so important that people understand that people are different. If you consider it a continuum, like you said,
Spectrum.
speaking to your son,
Yes.
most of the times we give counsel to people, but going and doing the counseling degree, a master's in counseling, or simply the guidance counselor, you are further along in terms of being able to diagnose and then to do a prescribed plan of treatment for the individual in regards to it. So as you rightly said, most of us can give good counsel, but then we do have the skill sets or the tools to say, okay, is this what is happening? Do I go to my DSM
What is
5, which
DSM?
is the diagnostic, we call it our Bible, where it has all of these disorders, and you look for different things to say, okay, this is what is happening, whether it is what
So
happened.
it's a manual.
It's a manual that you go through and you come up with a
An indication
indications of what is
what is
happening with the
happening with
person.
the person.
Because the truth is, we found it very interesting when the late Fred Hicklin said that everybody in Jamaica, based on the work that is done, have some sort of
Psychosis.
mental disorder, but it really related to can the person function. Those who are committed are people who, in terms of the normal course of their lives, are not able to function normally. Some people, and the one that is affecting a lot of people now is depression. But you have different stages of depression. Some people, because they suffer from it significantly and it affects their functioning. Some people are on medication, some people are committed, and some people with committed to the
institution.
Institutionalized because they are not able to cope. So that is what normally happens when we commit people, because in their normal functioning, they're not able to cope with what the normal courses of life can be. Back to what has happened to you, this couple.
I have some specific questions. That's why you want to make a comment before I ask you.
As it said, it's tragic. But I haven't read it. I haven't read the article, but when you come to a place when you think that the only solution is to murder a loved one and then to commit suicide, you really have reached the end. And there would have been indications along the way that this was something that was happening and people weren't picking it up, you know? Because, like, when somebody decides that they're going to take their lives, there are normally indications that you can pick up. I remember when Lisa came on. Remember Lisa? Lisa Gay came on. There were things that you could have picked up based on what she indicated what was happening, and thank God she was getting help from somebody. But it would seem that the guidance counselor in what was happening should have referred her to a clinical psychologist or somebody who was, as you call it, high up along the chain to terms of saying this is what you need to do, this is what needs to happen. Yeah.
So sort of the moment I heard about it, of course, we heard about it from yesterday. And once I heard husband and wife, and I thought to myself, this sounds like people who were having problems with the relationship, but were still living together. The reason I'm mentioning it is yesterday I said to you there are some issues about gender-based violence, which we are yet to treat with properly as a nation. And the vulnerability of women who are going through like a divorce. I mean, if you have gone as far as to file papers for divorce and serve them and so on, and you're still in the same house, here are some things that you need to, persons can immediately take into consideration. In Jamaica, you are not eligible for a divorce unless you can say truthfully that your marriage has been irretrievably broken down for a period of 2 years. That is the minimum. A minimum has to be there, just like how we're talking about setting a level for penalties for murder and gun crimes and so on. There is an acknowledgement that relationships go through ups and downs, and an assessment was made that in a marriage you need to give the people at least 2 years to figure out if this really not coming back. And I mean, there's time for counseling and things that take time. So our requirement is when you are filing for a divorce, you need to be able to say that for a period of 2 years, we have not lived as man and wife. Now, the law from elsewhere is not Jamaica that precedent come from. The law from elsewhere says that a man and a woman who are married can occupy the same house but have separate households. You're really living as two strangers. And plenty married people tell me that it is entirely possible. I, for one, know that if I am not in good standing with you, there's me and you not having no separate household in one building unless it's an apartment building. And I am on the 50th floor and you are on the ground floor. And when you set out to leave for work and I set out to leave for work at the same time, there's no possibility of the two of us journeying together. I just don't feel like it's one of those relationships that you can just kind of rub shoulders. And not saying it's impossible, it's possible for others. I don't see the level on which it's possible for me. Nevertheless, the law is that you can maintain separate households in the same building, house,
This is
and be
Jamaican
qualified.
law.
This is Jamaican law.
Okay.
I'm addressing Jamaicans. The truth is that precedent about the separate household under the same roof didn't come out of Jamaica. This is English law, which we are applying. A whole different level of civility obtains in some other cultures where man and woman relate in a different way and can do it peaceably for the most part. But as a technical issue of law, it is possible. So the two of you can be at odds with each other and stay in the same house. Usually, they're staying in the same house because um, maybe the house is jointly owned, and one is saying, I'm equally entitled to be here. A lot of times, for the woman, it's because she cannot afford to move out. She don't have, sometimes there are children involved, and for her to move out, she would need to take responsibility for housing the children and so on and so forth. You can't go back to your mother house and go back into your old room, or it's an economic, a financial decision that keeps women who want to be divorced in the same under the same roof as the husband. And depending on the reason for the breakup, the reaction to the breakup, whatever it is, you're in a dangerous situation. In Jamaica, you are in a dangerous situation. And I mean, I remember when we had, I don't know if you recall, or having um, Dan Edwards Davis on with us one International Women's Day. Well, not international, it was the day protesting violence against women. And she spoke about an initiative to come of lawyers and other professionals putting together a resource team that could be of assistance to women who were in that vulnerable position of needing legal advice, other kinds of support to secure themselves during this type of hardship. It is desperately needed in Jamaica. There are many women who are in vulnerable situations of great danger to themselves and their children because relationship gone bad. They know the man is prone to extreme behaviors, but they have nowhere to go. These two young people, youngish people, were living together. They were living together. Mind you, all the relatives, when you read what is being said, they're saying, oh, he was nice, quiet man. The two of them, the one mother-in-law or mother is saying they were there for dinner on Sunday, and the two of them quiet, and the two of them, yet,
But the
yet,
question is,
by the 3rd of January,
what is it that would
she's
have
been
caused?
bludgeoned to death, and he is.
What would have pushed them over the edge? Because a lot of times, just even from
The divorce is what they're saying.
the what would have
Because
brought them? But
like
the
the
question,
Monday, there was some event in the divorce that would have taken place the Monday or some
no,
recent time. They've put it there. So clearly she filed for divorce. He would refuse to, he wasn't cooperating,
and then
and
he's
she wasn't
decided to,
pulling back.
and then he was deciding to, and then
Yes. Yeah.
call it the
But
quiet
but
storm.
I think that you being in proximity to the person who is not yielding to you, and that's why I said let's talk. I want an open conversation with you. When you are, you know, the things that trigger the stress and um the rage, if there is rage, and you're when you have to be contending with it every day, it's in the space because you're now living together, you're not getting any break from it. um this is the result in their situation. But you've been counseling couples, and you there's one comment here. The husband said that she complained about
Everything
things, small things, like what him says unimportant things, trivial things.
like
He said
snoring.
the mother claimed that her son had expressed his displeasure with marriage on more than one occasion as he was being criticized for snoring loudly, among other things considered to be trivial. You've seen up close the things that irritate one and the other partner think it trivial.
Mm-hmm. You see that also, and so
Yeah.
but even in the marriage space, as I say, when you bring couples together, because remember, people are coming from different families of origin, even in terms of how they deal with conflict. That's one thing. And one of the things I emphasize is the whole thing of understanding, because something that is important to me is not important to you. And so the question that they need to answer, what are the non-negotiable things that if you are not like that, it not gonna work. So don't even bother try to say that you're in a
But
relationship.
some things you don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm
for
saying.
example,
Which is why
they were together for over 20 years.
Yeah, 15.
In that time, she must did know saying snore. Over time, you must realize. So you have two things happening. You have a person who this is how they've been for 15 years of the marriage. And in year 16, it becomes a point of irritation. I mean, what explains that? Then you have someone who has borne with a thing for a long time. I don't think persons give full understanding to how much a snoring partner disrupts your sleep and your health. It's a small thing to the snorer who is
sleeping. Who's sleeping?
Who is asleep and content. And I believe that there are many partners who sit up looking at their partner snoring away and turning and scratching and they're holding the pillow saying, could I get away with it? What if I smothered him?
Oh, jeez, I smothered her.
Or her, yes.
Because it happens both sides.
Yes, snoring is not gender specific.
You understand, so...
And then you're born with something for a while, and I mean, you're ragged in the morning after you spend half the night trying to find a comfortable spot. What do you say as counselor? What do you say? Because there are practical solutions to some of these minor irritations. If your partner is a terrible, terrible snorer, and I'm not saying this is all there is to this couple's situation, but if there is snoring that has become
unbearable,
a threat to your own health.
There are things, if it becomes a major thing, snoring is something that can be fixed in some medical. So you're looking out to say, okay, this is so, it keeps coming up. What are you doing in order
get treatment for your partner?
Right.
Yeah. Encourage. Because
you encourage.
Because sleep apnea is bad, not for the one who listening. It's worse for the one who. And the solution is not a pillow, says love.
And for the one who is snoring, because the person can die.
Can die.
Yeah. We laugh about it, and it is affecting
I learned a lot about it because we went through. Our son had some chronic sinus situation, and as a consequence, the tiny little thing was snoring like a grown man. And when we went to do the investigation, of course, in the mornings he's falling asleep when you're trying to, get him into. Because when you have that issue, you don't sleep well. Even though then you hear them snoring away, they don't sleep well, and their brain gets deprived of oxygen for microseconds at a time, and over a period of time, it is injurious to the health of the brain, especially for a child. So please, we're speaking now to you as family. Understand that if you are dealing with someone who is a terrible snorer, the problem is not the inconvenience you suffer.
It's the person.
It's the health of the person.
Yeah.
Yes. And let's go back to a biblical principle. Perfect love. What does perfect love do?
Cast out all fear. Yeah.
Yes. And so when you love someone, you're not fearful of addressing the things which may be challenging to the relationship or painful to confront. And the other thing too is that love causes you to be very forgiving. I could never look at my precious husband snoring away like a
and decide to go
and say Jesus, he might keep me up. It's just inconceivable. And if you find yourself looking at someone you love who is causing you a little stress, and instead of you're saying, oh, how can I make this better? I know he doesn't desire to have me under stress.
And the truth is,
and he don't know.
We laugh about it, but it in because I know what it is, and my wife says, "You know that you snore," and I've had to
Deny, deny, deny.
no, I don't deny. I go I to
It's
to
a
go
record me.
medical.
I want evidence.
No. I to do a
No.
medical procedure and
Oh, you did?
yeah, big put got to do the sleep test and try to work through, take off some of the weight. That's why I've been working and taking off weight
Yeah.
because that helps and
Right.
working it through. You know, cause she had to
Plug,
earplugs.
right? Then there's that too. Earplugs.
Mm.
Mind you, it takes away your if you're someone who you sleep like a cat, and if there is a little whisper in the house, you're up and you're on it.
Yeah.
You don't want earplugs. I don't want earplugs.
Yeah, no, but it is.
I don't want earplugs, and I don't want I don't sleep in the blinders.
Mhm. No, but it just raises the real issue in terms of I spoke about it. People come from different backgrounds. You come together in a space that you have to live together.
But you gotta say something more on point with that one though, because these two were together for over 20 years and they know each other's background. Even if when you first come together, it is a delightful learning experience. And the truth is, early in the relationship, it is a delightful learning experience
Obviously,
to see the points. Like absolutely, hey, I mean, nature is the design is perfect, you know. So when you are in the excitement stage of the relationship, it's fun to learn what's different about your situation from mine and to find that point where you communicate.
The middle ground, and to learn what are your communication patterns
Yeah.
in the relationship. Because even recently, with a couple, I said to them, she didn't speak.
She was not a talker.
She was not a talker.
She's not mute.
And she's not mute, but her thing is based on her family issue. She never liked confrontation. She never liked to talk about things, but he encouraged her to speak because I want to know what is on your mind. And she says, that has forced me to grow in terms of the relationship because her family of origin was one in which we don't talk about, we just cuss, but we don't really talk about the issue at hand.
Yeah, we
mutter
while we're in the kitchen,
and
kick the cat, and slam the door,
and all of those things. We never speak to the issue.
We don't confront the issue.
And so, in the period of just talking to them, she pointed that out that it has made her better. Now she's better able to talk about the issues, to confront him. And some of the time that made it uneasy because here's it now, you let out your
create a monster.
Not a monster, but somebody who's gonna push you,
gonna call you out on your crap,
and to learn to deal with that. So the whole thing of understanding that and beginning to work together, because you must have a mind that we're gonna work this out and we're gonna come to a solution that is a win-win on either side. Because the worst thing that you can be in an argument and discussion is that one person win and one person lose, and you continue that pattern. I say it don't make no sense. And that leads to frustration.
Yeah. So where we're going with this, is emphasizing that even for the relationships of the heart, your love relationships, there is a necessity to be intentional, strategic, and focused in how you approach it. You plan for it like how you plan for anything else.
And I tell people that all the time, because even
it's fun planning. I mean,
it's talking about it, communicating. What are you thinking? What are your expectations in terms of that? Because one of the exercises I give to couples when I do them, and
so
I normally
this is for premarital counseling.
Premarital and even marital counseling.
Yes,
because people been married for 10, 19 years. And they've never really spoken to each other in terms of this is what I expect. I had that recent with a couple, and I'm saying, but we never really talk about this, But it is under the surface, simmering.
Yes.
And there is a latent, is it rage or latent resentment that comes out invariably in terms of you relate and speak to the person, and it's because you never spoke about that issue. I remember
it was bothering you all the time.
It was bothering you all these years. Like something happened in our relationship in 2016, and you're going on, and then what happens? You have to say, hold on. At the one time, I spent 4 hours with a couple, and I couldn't believe it. Thought I was going somewhere, and then finally, it broke. This is what is under
Yeah.
the surface.
All right,
So
we're
the
going
whole
to take
thing,
our 7 o'clock break.
you
So
get to
you
warm
can
up.
tell me about this 4 hour breaking point. When we come back, I think it's important that when we see these items in the news, we don't just gloss over them and say the horror of it. It's important that we recognize how close you and I might be
To that point.
to that point. Because I can tell you, for either of the two of them, if either of them knew how close the danger was, they would have done something to avoid it. Let's just take our 7 o'clock break and we'll be right back.
West FM 100.5 on your dial. Keep listening. Reignited for the future. Year in Review 2022.
2022 was the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation's year of building resilience through sustainable green investments. Among other things, it worked to improve access to potable water in several areas across the country.
We have been turning on the pipes and giving thousands more Jamaicans access to this precious commodity. This administration understands that the availability of water has an impact on the entire society, affecting all sectors: health, security, agriculture, industry, among others.
Minister without portfolio with responsibility for water, environment and climate change, Matthew Samuda. During the year, several pipeline replacement projects were commissioned into service, including Barron Hill to Samuel Prospect in Trelawney, as well as Luana to Middle Quarters and Sandybank to Black River in St. Elizabeth. The new building distribution pipeline project in Maine, St. Elizabeth, valued at $130 million, was also completed. New and upgraded water systems were also commissioned for communities in Westmoreland, Woodhall in Clarendon, and Slagerville, St. Catherine. A 100,000-gallon water storage tank was commissioned into service in Westgate Hills, St. James, and the upgraded Exchange Water Relift Station in St. Anne and Upton Tank and Ito Burrell Well Station improvement works in St. Mary were completed. In the latter part of the year, a 50-kilowatt solar PV plant was commissioned at the Mono Reservoir. A contract was also signed between the NWC and Rio Corba Water Limited for the construction of a 15 million-gallon water treatment plant to improve flows into Kingston, St. Andrew, Portmore, and Spanish Town.
It will reduce the need for future trucking of water and reduce, if not eliminate, the need for water restrictions to affected areas during periods of drought. So what this project really is the building of resilience in the water supply system. That means that even if there is a shock, we should be able to maintain the required level of supply to this critical productive area of Jamaica.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness. In the climate change portfolio, a project dubbed Facilitating a Gender-Responsive Approach to Climate Change Adaptation and Mitigation in Jamaica was launched. Jamaica's Gender and Climate Change Strategy and Action Plan was also launched in July 2022 in partnership with the Bureau of Gender Affairs and the GCF. The project was scheduled to be completed in December. The country, through Minister Samuda, also advanced calls for the equitable distribution of funds for climate change mitigation activities at COP27 in Egypt in November. In the first half of the year, Jamaica, along with partners, also launched the Jamaica Systemic Risk Assessment Tool to increase climate change considerations in investment.
We anticipate that the combination of the analytical capabilities of this tool, along with those of relevant local platforms and the transfer of knowledge to local technical personnel, should help to better guide our decision-making on future location and investment for infrastructure.
Director General of the Planning Institute of Jamaica, PIOJ, Dr. Wayne Henry. Jamaica's natural resources also continue to be protected by the government, and a significant progress is made in major environmental projects. 3 areas were declared as protected areas, namely the Cockpit Country, Pedro Keys and surrounding waters, and the Black River Protected Area in St. Elizabeth. The downtown Port Royal Street Coastal Revetment project was handed over, representing an investment of approximately $1.3 billion. And the Hannahtown Eco Village in Kingston was expanded and opened from an investment of $37,250. Additionally, as of November 1, 2022, over 2.2 billion trees had been planted and distributed under the National Tree Planting Initiative being spearheaded by the Forestry Department. A national schools tree planting competition was also launched. In June, the Forestry Department officially completed 6 of the 8 indicators under the European Union-funded budget support program. Under the program, 46 sustainable alternative livelihood projects were completed at a value of $240 million. Earlier in March, Jamaica's Bushfire Warning Index was also launched.
So a customized index that is going to be speaking about how do we recognize that bushfires are likely to develop because of climatic conditions.
Director of the Met Service, Evan Thompson. The Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation continues to prioritize environmental management and sustainability heading into 2023. A production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Veteran Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Veteran Printers, your best choice in printing.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-Time Taxi Service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
You can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
Looking to clean your vehicle super clean? 123 Clean Car Wash. Located at 2 1/4 Osborne Road, Kingston 10. Entrance on Grove Road, below Tropical Battery. They wash and vacuum, undercarriage wash, engine wash, polish and compound, shampoo and detailing. Call them at 876-631-3400. 123 Clean Car Wash. The best in the business for a cleaner wash.
Believe me, so easy. 1, 2, 3. Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, how you do I take taxi start?
John, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? Yeah, waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and then diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me send you.
You big star. Yeah, man. Respect my boss.
Try to call you, guys. Trust me.
What a relief.
Fearless and love more. Culture open up the door.
Live, camera, volume. Live it up Fridays on Best 100 FM. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. with I, Ibilion, each and every Friday, giving you the better vibes heard everywhere.
Yes, what's coming to that 100 of them. And DJ Richie. The mix comes out every Monday to Thursday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Join us as we entertain you, inform you, and educate you on everything that will keep you in a mix on the best 100 of them. Come on, bye.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on the Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Welcome back. So before we took the break, we were just speaking in some detail about what has been reported in the news. Actually, two things have been reported. There's a mother and son who were found murdered in their homes, but that's murder. And then there's the apparent murder-suicide of the couple. Both events took place in Mandeville, actually. And these now are not incidents that can be laid at the feet of organized crime. Well, maybe the mother-son murder.
That was, yeah.
But certainly what we're seeing, it looks very much as an attack on family. When I say looks very much, it's because while you can say the actual events had their foundation in different activities. One, intimate relationship gone bad. The other might be reprisal, or it might even be a family situation having to do with land and issues that sometimes families fall into situations of deep dispute and
Like deadlift, the famous deadlift.
Absolutely, that has been the source of a lot of
family
anger and violence in families. What in the overall, it is an attack on families. Families being the first structure, the building block of civilization.
Yeah,
really, for you to secure the continuation of your species, of your bloodline, of your genetic lineage, however you want to describe it. Families are important to that. We know the family structure, meaning parents, nurturing children in an environment that is loving and secure and structured and has in it the seeds for perpetuity. That's what we mean when we say family, not just DNA related
families.
They
have extended families and all of what happened.
Absolutely.
But
the different generations continuing to work together in a support group. It looks very much like a commercial enterprise to the extent that it can be very profitable. You can protect wealth through family structures that really work well.
A lot of people do it well.
Yes, that is the foundation of your wealth.
Yeah.
That's why people still talk about the 21 families of Jamaica. And
because they continue to perpetuate
because they've managed to keep the wealth through how the family operates.
But I want to, you spoke about an attack on the family, but this is really an attack on the family. Sunlight Street family in fear as gangsters kill elderly man in latest attack. So they've killed the grandfather, the toddler in the family was shot in the head in 2021. And they are saying it was our great-grandfather was killed on New Year's Day. And they says allegedly on a mission to wipe out the entire family. This is how you do real police work.
Yes.
Because
but I was more looking now at the spiritual work. Because when you look across the landscape of your country and you see these different events occurring and the victim is the same, meaning it is family.
It's family.
Earl Brown has said, could the death of the husband and wife be two murders? It could be at least one. There's for sure, it looks like one murder. The husband was found hanging and it appears to have been self-inflicted. So it's being treated in that way. But yes, it could be two murders. And it could be that it's not the wife killed, it's not the husband killed the wife. Him come and see her dead and say, everybody going to think it's me might as well kill myself. It could be that too. But in the end, it doesn't matter whose hands were used to accomplish it.
Still family.
It's still family. And a number of things arise when you see that. First, we have to test. How does the support system for family units function in our society? Are we staying connected? I remember when one of my younger brothers got married to the lady who was his childhood sweetheart, and they actually had a child together when they were fairly young, and they got married after some years of being in a relationship, and within 3 or 4 years they were divorced. And I felt such sadness, not the divorce per se, but because when I examined my own relationship with them as a married couple,
you never helped.
I did not even know there were challenges. And I said, but come to think of it, as a big sister, I see my brother get married. I know that the ways of women are mysterious and perplexing.
Producer.
So I'm thinking, as a big sister,
Did you intervene?
listen, I never even asked him a question because we have these notions about privacy, which are born from a very unloving place. I respect your privacy, but I cannot respect your privacy to the part where Missy say you're going down a very bad, steep place. But I say, well,
Super
it's his
sober. Go on. I
business.
feel business.
There are many things that when I contemplate them in some detail, they go right back to the plantation.
Okay.
Where we were in an unloving, meaning the authority structures in place did not encourage us to be our brother's keeper.
True.
Because if we are keeping our brother, we might plot with him to overturn the system. And I look at that and I say, why is it that I would have this notion that my brother's well-being is separate and independent of my own? Why wouldn't I see that if he hurts, I hurt? Why wouldn't I be? And I said, when I made a resolve at that time, and I believe I have kept to it as best I could, I am not going to keep myself separate and far from what is happening with my siblings, with my family members, those who are close to me. I know the signs because we are humans and we have the same signs. If I see somebody withdraw from, you used to have regular family thing and they would come and they'd be jovial and then you invite to dinner, not come, I can't make it. You try to engage them in the usual social activities, they're not involved in it. You have to check deeper. Sometimes them have new boyfriend who they're not ready to introduce, but sometimes they're going through a really rough patch and they don't want you to see. And it is a strategy, I'm going to quote Lowell now, I'm always saying it's a strategy of the devil to isolate you so he can beat you up in secret and have his way with you. When you see someone withdraw like that.
This happens in church. It happens in church all
You
the
mean
time.
the devil beat them up in church?
No. When somebody's a part of your fellowship regularly, and then you see them withdraw themselves, it is a sign
Red flag.
it's a red flag. That is because fellowship, fellowship. Because remember, if you're a part of a flock and the wolf want to take you, him look for the isolated one before he attacks.
Yeah.
It's a principle. So that is why we stress community, that we live in community in fellowship. And that is where Psalms 121, that is where the Lord commands a blessing. How good and pleasant it is when brethren can dwell together in unity. That is where the real blessing
That's where the wealth is.
The real blessing is. And so.
All right, I'm going to mention one last thing on this. I mean, it may be the last thing. I've got to mention it because it's one of the things that polite people have a difficulty acknowledging. And it's coming out of the details reported on this apparent murder-suicide. The woman moved from being a student at a teacher's college
when you met her,
when they were young and together, to being a loan officer in a bank. Anyone looking at that would see some level of upward mobility and a level of education that you can presume a certain level of education. Even when you look at the pictures that are used, you can see a certain degree of refinement with the with the lady. No, that's not what I call refinement.
That's troubling. That's what that it should look like. Hey,
all right. The young man, the man, I don't know why I just love calling people young.
He's a mature gentleman.
Yes,
40.
They're in their 40s. Yeah.
Yes.
The husband was, the only report of his activity is that he was a taxi driver, and at one time they said he was trying. Which no, in reference to his occupation.
Okay.
Like they know him to be hardworking but at being a taxi driver, for which you need a driver's license and access to a motor car.
And he even got a stroke. Imagine that.
The mother says yes, under the stress of the threatened divorce, he didn't handle it well health-wise. He got a stroke. All right. There much has been said over time about the potential for enduring success of marriages between people who are of unequal social rank. It's a well-established and acceptable practice for the man to be of a higher social rank. And I'm using old-time language because really nowadays social rank have more to do with what you can afford. More so than your level of education or the pedigree of your family. But it's always acceptable for a man to reach down and pull up a woman of charm and beauty and less education and install her as his wife, and that's nothing wrong with that. But it has always been a challenging thing for a woman who is better educated, better positioned than the man to successfully hold a relationship under those pressures. And that's what I want to just touch on a little bit with you. Because we typically see that as a situation that explodes in violence against the woman.
Some of the times.
Yeah,
because
I'm not saying all the time.
I'm just reflecting on persons who I know in terms of the arrangement. So the lady is a vet, the gentleman is a chef.
No, that's not morganetic.
What's morganetic? Meaning the age difference?
No, social standing.
Okay.
Rank. A chef.
Chef of
if you say cook, like him cook at the school canteen. But a chef in a hotel
has his own business.
Or his own business, that's not morganetic.
Okay, all right. Because some people in Jamaica look at it because when they got me, people say, but he has his own business. He cater all over the place.
Yes,
so you don't see that as morganetic.
No, that's not morganetic. For you to recognize the morganetic marriages, let's look for the woman is educated, well-spoken. The man is illiterate, can barely write. If he speaks at all, it is in awkward sentences. And typically in those relationships, you see the woman is usually the one who will introduce, will do the social rounds, and the man is just
quiet.
But it's not because he's the strong, quiet type. It's because he's socially awkward or graceless.
I guess we have a lot of those in Jamaica actually, in terms of things that you would have experienced. And Some have worked, some have not worked.
Yeah. But when you examine there, even in my little time, and then I don't do the kind of counseling you do, I've heard so many stories of the man saying how he put her through school and put her through nursing, and now she get big
And she gone, she outgrow him.
rejecting him. She outgrow him. So some of the relationships, they didn't begin as misfits.
No.
In quite a few relationships, the man has financed the woman's advancement, and when she's at a certain position, she rejects him, and it erupts in violence.
Okay.
So I mean, I pull it out really, not just as an item of curiosity, but as we speak to our children, counsel one another, see different things happening. It's to recognize that
what it is.
The nature of that relationship comes with certain stresses. And if you were counseling, if you're doing premarital counseling on it, it's something that is worth addressing.
You talk to them and you say, but I have to raise it. Like,
are you prepared for this or that?
And give them scenarios. I said, this is what potentially could happen, or it has happened already. Are you ready for that?
And there are ways to address it. I mean, I know, is it, what's his name, Wigglesworth, whose wife taught him to read? You must be prepared to make the adjustments so that there can be greater parity in your relationship. So you fall in love with a brilliant woman. She's a scientist of no mean order. You yourself, if you've read 10 books in your whole life is plenty. And you want to have a relationship with her, you must be prepared to invest in educating yourself to the point where you are closer to her in terms of understanding and being able to communicate. I'll tell you one story.
I find that, before you tell the story, I find that fascinating.
I won't want to tell the story.
In a lot of countries, you see this happen a lot, like in, you say, America.
Yes, yeah.
And it don't seem to face them in terms of saying, doctor and farmer, you're going, what is that?
Or you have the house husband.
But yes, you understand.
Stays home, looks after the kid, and so on. So let's think about what allows one society to move to that point, because believe me, that is an advancement. That is not men falling back or losing position. That is an advancement in terms of civility and understanding the value of human relationships. Human relationships that work well in terms of creating and nurturing families, that is a prize of no mean order. If you can accomplish that, there is no discomfort with, he has no degree and I have 3. It doesn't even enter into the equation. But it's because, one, the society itself has adapted to that understanding because they've gone through so there's no shame. A lot of us may think that, it don't look right or whatever might be on your mind. And so you are not as open to it. But after your society has gone through certain experiences of hardship and you've reinvented yourself and revisited the basic things that are necessary for comfortable living, you throw out
a lot of
the frivolities.
So what you're speaking about is an advancement in terms of how people relate
to each other.
Because when those of us who go abroad and study and you see it and you're going, really? I said that, you look at it and said that never work in Jamaica because of a lot of things that happen socially in terms of I think there's a songwriter in Jamaica who says that you are who you are is dependent on what you have and not really who you are in terms of your character.
And that's something
you're
right.
Yeah,
I don't know the song, but I understand the principle.
Yeah, man, you are not. You're not a person because you don't have money. It's not about your character anymore. It's about your money, and that has become, I would say, one of the lies. In terms.
So yesterday we talked about the founding of the nation. It's 7:30. We'll pick it up when we get back.
No, we'll pick it up with prayer.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
There will be days when you're too tired to move, to drive, but you think you have to because your vehicle won't wash itself, right? But no, you don't have to visit a car wash. 123 Mobile Car Wash will come straight to you. Yes, you heard right. 123 Mobile Car Wash is offering services in Kingston and St. Andrew and St. Catherine. We shampoo and detail cars, trucks, offices, and more. No job too small. Call us at 876-631-3400. 123 Mobile Car Wash. We come to you.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
You can call us at 926-3866. We are something special on the road.
Yes, what's coming to the best 100 of them? With Nessa and DJ Richie. The mix comes on every Monday to Thursday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Join us as we entertain you, inform you, and educate you on everything that will keep you in a mix on Best 100 of them. Come on, vibes. Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Lady the Queen of the South, and I'm inviting you on the Trailblaze with me on the best of the best radio station, the Best 100 FM, Mondays through Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. You can't afford to miss it on your airwaves. Yes, Trailblaze with Lady Lee right here, Mondays to Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. on the best of the best, Best 100 FM. Yeah.
This is your beloved Pastor Percy from the Morning Connection. Support our commitment to Jamaica by joining us on Wednesday mornings at 7:30 when we pray for the nation. Show us you care. Advertise with us. For more information, call our offices at 876-276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on the Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning. It is that significant time for us today as we pray. And I just want to encourage us that we pray, we're in prayer every moment because prayer really is conversations with God. And when you pray, this is something I'm relearning. When you pray, expect for God to answer because God always is talking back to you. Whether it's through His word, He gives you a rhema word based on the logos, or He brings somebody who says, like, it's like they heard you praying and they've come with the answer. So I just encourage us every day when you get up, pray. And we continue on the same thread that we closed with last week, which is with thanksgiving and praise to God for having taken us through 2022, which was a very significant year in a lot of our lives. But we just want to continue to give Him thanks. So we're going to open with this song, and may you join in. This is part of our prayer this morning. Go ahead, the song.
Thanks to the Lord, our God and King. His love endures forever. For he is good, he is above all things. His love endures forever. Sing praise, sing praise. With a mighty hand and outstretched arm, his love endures forever. Through the life that's been reborn, his love endures forever. Sing praise, sing praise, sing praise, sing praise. Forever God is faithful, forever strong, forever God is with us, forever. From the rising to the setting sun, his love endures forever. And by the grace of God, we will carry on. His love endures forever. Sing praise, sing praise, sing praise, sing praise. Yeah, forever God is faithful, forever strong, forever God is with us, forever, forever, forever God is faithful, forever God is strong, forever God is with us, forever. Sing praise, sing praise, sing praise, oh sing.
Sing praise, sing praise. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. Psalms 136. For his loving kindness, his graciousness, mercy, compassion endures forever. Give thanks to the God of gods, for his loving kindness endures forever. Give thanks to the Lord of lords, for his loving kindness endures forever. To him who alone does great wonders, for his loving kindness endures forever. To him who made the heavens with skill, for his loving kindness endures forever. To him who stretched out the earth upon the waters, for his loving kindness endures forever. To him who made the great lights, for his loving kindness endures forever. The sun to rule over the day, for his loving kindness endures forever. The moon and stars to rule by night, for his loving kindness endures forever. To him who struck the firstborn of Egypt, for his loving kindness endures forever, and brought Israel out from among them, for his loving kindness endures forever, with a strong arm and hand, with an outstretched arm, for his loving kindness endures forever. To him who divided the Red Sea into parts, for his loving kindness endures forever, and made Israel pass through the midst of it, for his loving kindness endures forever. But tossed Pharaoh and his army into the Red Sea, for his loving kindness endures forever. To him who led his people through the wilderness, for his loving kindness endures forever. To him who struck down great kings, for his loving kindness endures forever, and killed mighty kings, for his loving kindness endures forever, and gave their land as a heritage, for his loving kindness endures forever, who faithfully remembered us in our lowly condition, for his loving kindness endures forever, and has rescued us from our enemies, for his loving kindness endures forever, who gives food to all flesh, for his loving kindness endures forever. Give thanks to the God of heaven, for his loving kindness endures forever. I told you this morning, I wanted us to just remember and to give God thanks for taking us through 2022, and we are here in 2023. And Father, we are expectant today, and that is why we can enter into your gates with thanksgiving and into your courts with praise, because we are declaring this morning, according to Psalms 100, we shout joyfully to the Lord, all the earth. Serve the Lord with gladness and delight. We come before your presence this morning, Father, with joyful singing. We know and we fully recognize with gratitude that the Lord himself is God. It is you who have made us and not we ourselves, and we are yours. We are your people and the sheep of your pastors. We enter into your gates with a song of thanksgiving, and we come into your courts with praise. We are thankful to you, and we bless and we praise your name, for you, Lord, are good. Your mercies and loving kindness are everlasting, and your faithfulness endures to all generations. Father, as we reflect on the year that was, we are thankful for the fact that you have preserved us. You have kept us safe. We thank you that we are still alive. That means for us that your purpose for our lives is still ongoing. And we thank you that we can walk in purpose and ultimately fulfill the destiny, Father, that you have for us as your children. And today, because we are thankful, we are making declarations in this nation that the purposes of God for Jamaica, for us first as individuals who call Jamaica our home, it will prevail. We are continuing to declare over ourselves and our families and our communities that you are good and your mercies endure forever. And we continue to declare over this nation that families are coming together, that indeed, as you have spoken in Malachi, you are turning the hearts of the fathers back to the children. We are thanking you, God, for restoration of family life in this country. And we perceive and see that the enemy is seeking to attack families. But indeed, we are declaring that that will not prevail, but your purpose for family as the building block in any nation, in Jamaica, in community will prevail, that endure. Indeed, family life is being restored. Fathers are loving mothers. Fathers and mothers are loving their children. Families are coming together, and they're coming together to fear you. And out of that simple experience of giving to God what he deserves, of fearing and honoring you, Lord God, indeed you are continuing to teach us how to love each other. And we are thanking you and declaring from Negril Point to Moran Point across this nation, in every community, in every town, in every township, that indeed love, a tsunami of love is emerging, that indeed we are repenting of the fact that we have begun to hate one another. We repent of that even now, and we change our minds. We repent, and we will declare that the love of God is in our hearts, and indeed we can love our neighbor, our brother, our sister as ourselves, as we declare, even as Bob Marley says, one love, one heart, that we'll get together in communities and feel all right. We thank you even as the tsunami of love is breaking out in our nation, that our leaders will, Lord, in 2023, love the people of Jamaica. Put them at the center of their planning, even, Lord God, as you have loved humankind, have loved every Jamaican, that indeed all of leaders in this nation will put Jamaicans and their welfare at the heart of every plan that they have. That no longer, Lord, will they be selfish in their planning and thinking of themselves and the connected parties, but every decision that is made, oh God, will be made for the people of this country. That indeed every decision that is made will cause for Jamaicans to prosper even now, Father, in the name of Jesus we speak. Let love return to the heart of every Jamaican. Love for his neighbor return to the heart of every Jamaican. And the spirit of hate and discord is being destroyed and being broken down even now, we declare, in the name of Jesus. And so today, we continue to make these declarations over our nation, believing, Lord, that this is the heart of the God of heaven, God our Father, for this nation in all the areas that we speak to.
We decree and declare that no longer shall the princes and leaders of the land abuse and oppress the people. Let the ties that bind us be unbreakable bonds of love, respect, and equity. We decree and declare a time of freedom, empowerment, and prosperity for the people, a season of outstanding achievement. We decree and declare that the administration of justice in every sphere of life shall be freed from the limitations of cynical and unbelieving men and women, and that justice shall indeed flow like living waters from the throne of God into the bellies of every man and woman. We decree and declare that every Jamaican man, woman, child shall increase in knowledge of self and of the one true God, such that the divine creative power to prosper and excel shall be unlocked in this generation and generations to come. We decree and declare that the hearts of our leaders and their bowels of compassion be opened to hear the cry of the people and to respond with love, generosity, and respect. We decree and declare that the ordinary men and women in communities across this land will become families that work together in harmony to assure the well-being of all members, giving special care to our children, our elders, our women, and those with disabilities of any kind. We decree and declare that starting today, men and women across this nation shall arise and return to the place of abundance in humility and repentance to reclaim their identity and bring prosperity to their communities. We decree and declare that all citizens be filled with the spirit of shameless audacity, such that we shall persistently seek out the goodness and the blessings that are ours, ask for and secure the benefits of nationhood, knock on every door that should be open to us, and take charge of our destiny. We decree and declare that this nation will move as one, in submission to the sovereign will of God, so that the world may see your power and greatness, and you will be glorified. We decree and declare that all men and women of princely or royal authority shall now speak and act with boldness to secure the release of your people in obedience to the urgings of the Holy Spirit and for the fulfillment of prophecy, as said in Isaiah 51, verse 11. Those the Lord has rescued will return. They will enter Zion with singing. Everlasting joy will crown their heads. Gladness and joy will overtake them, and sorrow and sighing will flee away.
Before God and all mankind, we pledge the love and loyalty of our heart, the wisdom and the courage of our minds, the strength and vigor of our bodies, in the service of our fellow citizens and fellow Jamaicans. We declare today we promise to stand up for justice, brotherhood, and peace, to work diligently and creatively, to think generously and honestly, so that Jamaica may, under God, walk in its purpose, increase in beauty, in fellowship, and in prosperity. And we play our part in advancing the welfare of the whole human race. Father, we thank you that, as it is written, we'll begin to see the manifestation of that in every home, in every heart, that we'll learn to love again in this nation, learn to love again, learn to serve again, which is our worship unto you today. So we thank you, God, for what you're doing by your Spirit. Let your Spirit flow from Negril Point to Moran Point, that indeed the glory of God will fill Jamaica, Indeed, as we have continued to declare over this nation that a tsunami of love, of worship will overtake us. And indeed, we expect the great things to happen. As we've been declaring at the end of our prayers, we are expectant. We are believing. We are walking, oh God, in faith to you. And let our faith, Lord God, begin now to take feet as we will move and act in love, in worship unto you. Our worship is our service and our work, and we declare that again over this nation as we have entered into 2023, the year of your grace and your mercy, but the year in which you are bringing things to completion and indeed beginning a new day in our nation. We are expectant even now, in the name of Jesus.
Y'all ready to celebrate? Come on, get back up on your feet. Come on. Put your hands on it. Come on. This is just the year of refreshing. It's playing now on phone. The time of your great blessing. Thank you, Darius Dennis. Come on. Nothing but victory. That's the promise of our King. To do exceedingly, abundantly, above what you ask or think. Put it in the house. Expect. Anybody expecting great things? Come on, say expecting great. Come on, everybody say expect. I can't hear you say it, y'all. Come on, lift it up, expecting great. Like a big church, put your hands on it. Come on, everybody clap, clap, clap your hands. Come on. This is God. The year of refreshing. His plan, say it. The time of your great blessing. Expect nothing but victory. That's the promise of our King. You do exceedingly all above what you ask for me. Sing it real good. Wish y'all can put your hands on it and say it. Expecting great things, say it. Come on, everybody, lift it up, say it. Your finances, expect the great. In your relationship, expect the great. On your job, in your home, expect. Come on, everybody, say expect. Say anticipate. Tell them this is your year. Your moment. Expect the great. Win. The great. Look at somebody, tell them expect the great blessing. Somebody say, wave your hands if you know the blessing is on you. Use your voice and say, somebody expect the great hand, y'all. The great blessing. Win, win. The great, when you gonna do it? One more time. The great. Use your voice and sing it. The great blessing. Everybody play. Somebody and tell them don't play. Look at the neighborhood while you're sitting and tell them. Tell somebody the blessing. Everybody play. Everybody play. Come on, say it. The blessing. The great. Anybody believe that the blessing is on you? Put your hands on it. You're simply the best. You're simply the
Best FM 100.5 on your dial. Keep listening.
Station that makes you feel good.
I love this station. I think it's great. My station. It's my station.
Keep it right here. Keep it right here.
Best FM. Keep listening.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's and you've got it.
Hello, I'm Moira Alderson with the BBC News. Russia's defense ministry says officials will be held accountable for mistakes that allowed Ukrainian forces to locate and destroy a temporary barracks in the occupied city of Makiivka, killing many troops. The ministry's General Syrikirov said an investigation would bring to justice those responsible.
Миссия по расследованию обстоятельств происшествия.
Circumstances of the incident are currently being investigated, but it's already obvious that the main reason, despite the restriction, was that the personnel within the range area of enemy firepower turned on and used mobile phones. This factor allowed the enemy to locate the personnel and launch the missile strike. All the necessary measures are currently being adopted to prevent this kind of tragic incident in the future.
Russian military bloggers have criticised the statement on mobile phone use as an attempt to shift responsibility onto the victims themselves rather than errors by commanders. The ministry has raised to 89 its figure for soldiers killed. Lawmakers in South Korea have been questioning the decisions made by police officials in connection with the crowd crush in Seoul last October. 159 people were killed. Nick Marsh reports.
More than 2 months on, and so far no one has been held accountable for one of South Korea's worst ever peacetime disasters. Now, ahead of a long-awaited report, the country's national police agency has confirmed that local district authorities, rather than the central or city government, had what they call concrete responsibility for ensuring the safety of the 159 mostly young people who died on a night out. It's a political boost for the president and his cabinet, but will be met with anger by families and political opponents.
The South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol has said he's considering suspending a 4-year-old military pact with the North if Pyongyang continues to violate the South's airspace. His comments came after he'd been briefed on last week's incursion by North Korean drones. The Israeli Foreign Ministry has condemned an act of vandalism at a Protestant cemetery in Jerusalem in which more than 30 graves were desecrated. In CCTV footage from Sunday, 2 young men can be seen destroying gravestones in the Mount Zion cemetery. The Jerusalem University College, a Christian institution located on Mount Zion, said the teenagers were Jewish, although they are yet to be identified. Myanmar's former religious affairs minister, who's been in prison since a military coup 2 years ago, has been released as part of a widespread amnesty. Thura Ang Ko was set free ahead of celebrations marking 75 years of independence. His family said he'd been suffering from poor health. World News from the BBC. The world's biggest airline trade body has criticised the introduction of restrictions on travellers from China because of the surge in COVID infections there. The International Air Transport Association said the measures were disappointing and had been proven ineffective. The European Union is currently considering whether to demand pre-departure COVID testing for all travellers from China wishing to enter the bloc. Azerbaijan has rejected claims from Armenia that it's causing a humanitarian crisis in the disputed enclave of Nagorno-Karabakh. The Azeri Foreign Ministry dismissed the claim as absurd. Danny Eberhard reports.
Since Soviet times, Armenia and Azerbaijan have fought sporadically over Nagorno-Karabakh, a territory that's internationally recognised as part of Azerbaijan, but large parts of which are controlled by ethnic Armenians. The last big conflict was in 2020, when the Azeris recaptured much territory in and around the enclave. Tensions have remained high. Armenia says for more than 3 weeks now, Azerbaijan has blockaded the Lachin corridor, accusing it of keeping 120,000 ethnic Armenians prisoner as part of a policy of ethnic cleansing.
The government of the Philippines has asked hundreds of senior police officers to submit what it's called a courtesy resignation as part of efforts to purge the force of links to the drugs trade. The Interior Secretary urged those from the rank of colonel to general to make the gesture, while their records were reviewed by a special committee. He described the approach as a shortcut to cleansing police ranks. A Ugandan music promoter has been charged with negligence in connection with a stampede on New Year's Eve in which 10 people died. Abe Musinguzi is accused of closing all but one of the exits at the venue of a fireworks display near the capital Kampala. More than 20,000 people attended the event. Mr. Musinguzi denies the charges. BBC.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Veteran Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Veteran Printers, your best choice in printing.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
You can call us at 926-3866. We are something special on the road.
Yes, what's coming to best 100 of them. In that with Nessa and DJ Richie. The mix comes out every Monday to Thursday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Join us as we entertain you, inform you, and educate you on everything that will keep you in the mix on Best 100 of them. Come on, have vibes. Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Lady Lee, the Queen of the South, and I'm inviting you all to trailblaze with me on the best of the best radio station, the Best 100 FM, Mondays through Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. You can't afford to miss it on your airwaves. Yes, Trailblaze with Lady Lee right here, Mondays to Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. on the best of the best, Best 100 FM. Mwah.
And love more. Don't you open up the door.
Live, camera, volume. Live It Up Fridays on Best 100 FM. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. with I, Ibi Lion, each and every Friday. Giving you the better vibes, heard everywhere.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Morning Connection. We trust that your spirits have been lifted today as we remind and affirm that God is love. And his intentions towards is for good, not for destruction or evil. As we open up the lines this morning, we just want to remind those of us who are out there in our relationships, If you're having problems, talk to somebody. Talk to somebody. Don't let it reach to the point that you think there's no end and the only way out is to commit murder or to
Or suicide.
Yes, Yes.
But I also want to speak to those who are part of the network, and all of us are part of a network for someone. Apply wisdom. Keep an eye on what is happening with your loved ones, the people in your circle. And be intrusive. Yes, I said intrusive. Do
That
not
coming from you is a
leave.
major thing, though, you know.
Yes,
Yes, man.
coming from me.
Yes.
Why?
Because you always are the one who says, be careful, you know. You always just tell me, say me fast.
Oh, yes, you don't wait for mental health signs. You create mental health issues.
Oh, Lord.
Thank you for reminding me. Oh, Pastor says a major thing. But love in action.
Yes, it is. It really is.
For whom you have a care and concern, apply the wisdom. You live a little longer, you have certain experiences, you know the signs of certain things. If you are someone who can read the signs of certain things, find a loving, respectful way and gentle way to open the eyes of the persons who are in your circle. Alert them to danger, if danger it is. And if they're the ones who have the potential for danger, steer them gently into the right direction for care. You know, the Prime Minister, at the end of the Prime Minister's New Year's speech, he made mention of the mental health, the need for self-care and for, you know, just checking yourself and reaching out for help should you need it. I think it's equally important that those who can give help keep their eyes open so they can spot things and be a part of it. Don't be one of those saying, you know, I mean, no, say so and so did that happen, but
But that
I
wasn't
thought
the
it was.
thing, too. You know, the guy
Yeah.
said it that he wish he had said it to them.
Yeah, right. Yeah, don't be living with that. All right, before as we are opening the lines, and you did repeat the numbers, or do I need to repeat the numbers?
You need
It's
to
always
repeat the
good to repeat the numbers. Let me get the numbers from my trusty engineer. They're hiding the I think after a year they're saying Minute and Pastor should know the numbers. 876-279-8473 and 876-619-1508. Those are the numbers to call. But as you are getting your fingers warmed up, let me share what one of our listeners, Rachel, sent to me by text message. If you can send a text message, it works really well when we get a chance to read it. The first thing is she sent me what seems to be some rallying call, not sure the source, but it's just reminding people that we have power and we should mobilize at the community level and help one another. But what caught my attention, if you have seen this message, we need to do something about it. There is. Good morning. Good
morning.
Good morning and welcome. Yes, you're speaking to.
Good morning, my brothers and my sisters.
Morning, Mr. Day.
Who cut you off yesterday?
I'm not talk to you know, and I tell and as me said the morning, I got the morning part. My phone just cut off.
No, man, that was no deliberate act of anyone. First thing you must know that Pastor Percy and I don't have a single button under our control. We share that. We don't end the calls when the calls end or. Maybe it's your finger. You kill your own call. How are you? Yes.
You look at the side, man.
Lord, Elaine, stop asking us about the star. At least stop asking me. I tried one time, I never see it. I'm done with it.
So I said, easy, we give up.
No, it is not my thing. It's you giving me instruction. The things that I set for myself, I'm good with it. I want to ask you a question, Elaine. Have you seen a picture making the rounds? People protesting with placards, and one woman's placard says, "I heard the screams of people being burned alive by the security forces." Yes.
Hey, I don't know what to say, but listen,
yes.
I want to talk to you privately about that thing there, because and you think them are right to me, Miss Minette.
Oh, gosh.
You think them are Miss Minette, my brother, them are right to me every day. I say, must help them all, must help them. Miss Minette. Miss Minette. It's a peer corruption going in, Miss Minette. Another thing there, you know. Miss Minette, I want to talk to you. Private about it. I can't say nothing about it on here, because I don't want nobody. I don't want them come kill me. I'm not ready for my love is so beautiful. God, I'm not ready to leave it yet.
Do we have
we have
your number here?
Bad.
We have your number. Yes. We have it.
Please tell me about it. I'm not stop you. Where you now?
Let me. I want to make sure I have your number. Lloyd, we have a number for Miss Elaine. If not, you before you leave, I want to take your number. There is there are some messages making the rounds, just trying to bring people together under an understanding that mobilizing at the community level is a necessary part of self-help during these times. One of the messages says there are communities where it is possible for the people to get together, elect their own community members to their own community council, meet to discuss the issues in the community, health, education, jobs, garbage collection, housing, policing, crime, etc. And it is just an urging of persons to start to mobilize, something that you know that I am very much in favor of. I say we need to start in families and communities to confront the issues that are important to us, and let that be the position from which we engage with the councillors and the political apparatus, so that we can extract more from our government, get higher levels of accountability, and so on. But then in the middle of those messages, there are pictures of some people, Jamaicans, who have placards in hand and they are protesting. One picture have placards that say, "Public defender, stop lying to the people. We demand fair compensation." This is in relation to Tivoli. One says, "We demand meeting with Minister Chuck." 2,000 people receive no compensation. And the other one that caught my eye and made me ask you the question, because I perceive that you are a woman with your ears and eyes on the street and you know some things. I asked you whether you saw the one. It is a woman. She has different colors in her hair. She holds a placard and it says, "I heard the screams of people being burned alive by the security forces." Another placard says, "Jamaica's judicial system bankrupt and corrupt." Another one says, "Compensation now." And one in the background speaks about massacre in Tivoli. Justice for something massacre in Tivoli. I'm keeping a picture of it because I think if we see a member of our community or nation with a placard saying in the first person, "I heard this," it needs investigation and inquiry. So you're the first person who called me, and I ask you. Yeah.
Why? Like, it's like the Holy Spirit is working.
Yeah, you know, he never stops.
So you could have asked me this stuff, and this upon my mind kill me. Tell me what the until now. My tries have been to people, but them not listen, them not hear what I say. Them hear what they want to hear, but Miss Minette.
Yes.
Miss Minette, the police, man. Some of them is so, men know what father, man. Anyway, Brother Percy.
Yes, Miss Elaine, what's up?
Yes, man, you didn't want to
Some of the time, it's better to listen.
Yes, man, listen. What on the side of it? You see the stars in it?
No, I don't see the stars. I must say to you that some of the times I go out, but I don't see them. Because where I live, I can look out, but I'm not seeing them.
Why? The stars cloudy or something?
Probably is, but when I get out, I don't see them.
Elaine, remind me of the story of these stars, please. What are they telling us? What is it that you want us to take note of?
Yes, Miss Vinette?
Yes.
You remember when the three wise men,
yes.
From the other putting them a show them star, they said the three wise man star, right?
Yes. Meaning it is stars representing the three wise men, or it is the star that they followed?
The star representing the three wise men.
Okay.
And from me, that country, Miss Minute, from me, I look up it,
yes.
My mother did tell me that country one at a time. I'm a writer until I say, any she not send to me, I go join myself. I know, whether near me, so me go join myself, but me just tell her, I go join myself.
And she sent for you?
Yes. You don't know for 4 years, Miss Minute. I should have let me come up back one time.
Why did she send you to the country? Were there problems in your Kingston neighborhood?
No, because she has to work and show me was a little girl.
No one to look after you properly?
Yeah, she wants someone to look after me properly.
So did you miss her or you missed Kingston?
Miss Minute, when I live from Kingston, my bright. And when I live country, me dance, because every day I'm afraid of them.
Oh, so you missed your family?
Every day.
So, yeah, okay.
Yes,
well,
the star them now, Miss Minute.
Yes.
The star them is a symbol, something like that.
Symbol of?
And Miss Minute,
yes.
you see when December, the star them probably over there now. They might get ready to probably leave now. Them probably start on. If you look, you see them come up back.
Okay then.
Every year, them go to the east out. So every year, them travel from where down so from me. I mean, they live Hanover. I mean, I see them from them time there.
Yes.
But even when them come set in the north south,
yes.
I could have see them, but because them was so high and so the angle to where them there.
All right.
But
All right.
every year,
yes.
them travel come this way. Why?
But so let me let Percy, the geography student, tell you what is happening when certain stars are visible, because the star, what we see as stars, really, it is the light from, they do call them stars or planets, that become visible at certain time based on how long it takes for that light. Yes.
We see them stars.
But there's an explanation. Yeah, there's an explanation, Elaine, for why, as the world turns on its axis, we are able to see certain things in the constellation at different seasons, and it's only for a time because the world is turning, and it takes a certain amount of time for light to travel to the point where it is visible from planet Earth.
Yeah.
Listen, I was shouting them same man. I'm letting right?
Yes.
When Miss Elaine.
Before you go, I want you to. We have another caller, and we're getting the signal to wrap up with you. But I want you to leave your number with Lloyd for me, please, so I can call you, because.
Call me today.
Yes, because I want to probe that issue with you.
Yes.
All right. So we love talking to you, but we gotta run now. Lloyd, please take Miss Elaine's number as you put through the other call. Good morning and welcome. Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
Right. Okay. No, that we lost that one. So the reason why this photograph, did I show it to you, Percival?
I saw it. Did somebody send it to me?
The reason why it has stayed with me is because there are many times people don't get heard, like Miss Elaine was saying. And there are sometimes you look at the placards and they're saying the same thing. We want justice, da 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 da. But this one in the first person is a statement by this woman. And I'm curious, who is she? Is it real? How you can't see a statement like that and just move on to the next thing. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's true, because it's serious.
It is serious. What she's saying is serious. Her identity is serious.
Because it's playing out in view.
Oh yes. She don't hold it up above her face like some people don't want to be seen. She has it chest level, and you can see what it is that she's saying. So that is a big deal. There is there's something reported on that I absolutely don't want us to miss because I want to hear what your thoughts are on it. On the front page, there's a report on the punctuality. It says parliamentarians flunk punctuality test for 2022. And it goes on to give a rather shameful account of how late they start and why. And they didn't even bother going to. The Gleaner apparently made a request and got from the Houses of Parliament a report on the attendances and so on and so forth. So we know that the lower house, the MPs, they meet at 2 p.m. and the senators, they meet at 10 a.m. They start at 10 a.m. For the Senate, they never started on time, not for one single meeting.
Oh, this time was 10:22. Have a call on
We have
and
another
morning
call.
call.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. You hear me?
Yes, welcome to you, sir. How are you?
Franco.
Blessed up, yes, man, Franco. We are quick and fast this morning. I just want to heal up the last living warrior on the earth. Yeah, one of the last living warrior on earth. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Kim Jong-un and people them down in North Korea. I want to heal them up.
Well, I'm glad that you think they listen to the show. But why are you singling out Kim and North Korea, which is not generally the friendly Korea? So tell me what brings it to mind this morning.
My last one is really a kick Babylon. Kick Babylon.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So you're not taken in by the reports that he is aiming his missiles at America or a friend to the north of us, and that he heads a repressive regime that is trampling on the rights of the Koreans, that they're starved for food and it's not a democratic process, and basically he needs to change his style of leadership. You don't believe those reports?
You mean you want me to take the words of Babylon?
No, I want you to give me your words. That is what is commonly reported on North Korea. What is your understanding of what's going on there? I don't always take their word either, but I seek to inform myself on what is the true version then. What's closer to the truth?
The truth, I think the truth is them people them nice. Yeah, and they might show Africa how to kick Babylon and then you know what.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah, yo, I like what Jamung is going on down there, him and his people, them, you know, they are warriors to me in my eye. Yeah, Babylon have to keep themselves one side. Some of my people, them to line up themselves. You can't beg warrior. You can't beg Babylon. You have to fight Babylon and put Babylon in them place. And I like how they're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Western media and Babylon is, you know, they might come up with them little, you know what.
Mm-hmm.
King Jamon, big up my brother. Yeah, that's what you brother. Big up yourself, Frank. Heal you up. I love your work when you're down there. Keep your people nice, my brother. Bless up.
All right, Franco. Thank you for that. All right, it's time for a break, 8:30. We'll be right back.
Veteran Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Haggard Park Road. Veteran Printers, your best choice in printing.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-365 959. ABC Electrical Sales for a better choice.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
You can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
Yes, what's coming to the best 100 of them. You know what I mean? With Nessa and DJ Richie. The mix comes out every Monday to Thursday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Join us as we entertain you, inform you, and educate you on everything that will keep you in a mix on Best 100 of them. Come on, vibes. Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Lady Lee, the Queen of the South, and I'm inviting you on the Trailblaze with me on the best of the best radio station, the Best 100 FM, Mondays through Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. You can't afford to miss it on your airwaves. Yes, Trailblaze with Lady Lee right here, Mondays to Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. on the best of the best, Best 100 FM. Yeah.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on the Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning and welcome back. So, as I was saying, there is that picture of a woman with a placard that speaks in the first person of things she has witnessed.
So that happened yesterday? When did that happen?
No, man, it looked like an old.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about it where we've been advocating that persons need to take personal responsibility, but in their communities begin to mobilize, begin to form alliances.
I think these things that Rachel has sent me are UIC related mobilization messages.
Okay.
But what caught my eye is not the message, because the truth is what is being said in the message about moving at the community level to take charge of your affairs, that's just common sense, quite honestly. That's not, if you're not doing that, if you're not finding some way to achieve common understanding and unified effort in your community, then you're not being a responsible citizen. That's the truth of it. If things are happening in your community, and right now in Jamaica, communities are so fractured. So your challenge might be in identifying your community,
bringing people together.
Because you hear say one side of the street is one community, and across the road is another community. I came across that when I was looking at tribal politics. But
that's a real thing.
Outside of that, first find your community.
Yeah, but
how would you define your community?
No, but that's interesting. I remember being head of an institution and doing a program to help the at-risk young people in the community, and it wasn't more than 5 minutes walk from where I was to another site we're trying to use. And one of the young men said to me, "Sir, if you're gonna host it at that location, me can't go up there, no. Because they might kill me." And you're talking about you some of the time hear about street on street violence, but it is a real thing. It is a real thing. It is a very, very real thing in a lot of communities, and it is not only in inner city. You notice it even spreading out into the country now in terms of what you see happening. But you are making a point about the parliamentarians that all they have flunked the punctuality
The punctuality test.
Can you imagine that?
Yes, but here how, and I wanted your thoughts on what does this really mean? It seemed like like a little story, and the Gleaner does not editorialize. They just give you
the raw facts.
Yeah, they give you the data. What they got is that of 68 regular sittings of the House of Representatives, this is where your MP goes. 48 of those 68 meetings actually begun within the first 5 minutes of the scheduled starting time. So they should start at 2 and they start by 2:05. 48 of the meetings, that's not bad. But understand this. When we are to go to court, as in to the Supreme Court,
make sure
you need to be there ahead of time. So everybody gets there, and even if the judge is running late with a matter, at 10 o'clock when the clerk comes out to call the name of your matter, you had better be able to answer, because for example, if it's a criminal court, you run the risk of a warrant being issued for your arrest. If it is in the Supreme Court, you run the risk of orders being made in your absence, because once the other side can show that you were served, you should be there on time. So on time means to be on time, you have to come early. Now, if parliamentarians who are elected to handle our business can't make provision to be there, it's 2 o'clock. If they can't be there, say by 1:45 or 1:50 or, dear Lord, 1:55, so that when the gavel falls at 2 o'clock, you can start on time. They didn't address the business of quorum, because you need to have a certain number of persons in order to have a quorum for a sitting. So that wasn't addressed, but there's that. So 70.5% of the meeting started within 5 minutes of the scheduled time. The rest of it, I think they gave the latest time a meeting has started is at 2:23 p.m. Then now for the Senate, which is where the laws are considered, and some people say that is where the rubber meets the road. Because after you talk in the lower house and it gets to the upper house, real business needs to go on. Now, they are supposed to start at 10 a.m. Of 27 regular meetings of the Senate in 2022, lawmakers started the business of the House at 10:22 a.m. That's the earliest recorded over the period. So people who should be there to start work at 10 a.m., the earliest they ever started work for a 12-month period last year was at 10:22 a.m. Now, if people were showing up to work, if you were employed by one of those persons and you showed up late every day that you're supposed to be there, you'd lose the job by maybe day 5. Yes. This is based on data that the Gleaner requested from the Houses of Parliament, and it is showing that on average, the Senate started their business between 10:45 a.m. and 10:55 a.m. And the latest time that they ever started was at 11:07 a.m. in June. Right, an hour and 7 minutes past the scheduled time. And then the Speaker of the House is quoted here as saying, "I am very disheartened by this type of behavior. It is a sad day and poor reflection on all of us." She went on, "They sometimes say when the press writes some things, we get offended. But let me tell you, there is no need for us to get offended on this one. Because from time to time," she says, "they've been saying that Parliament is the highest court of the land. They are elected to represent the people, and this is their working time."
So like
she said all the right
Supreme Court,
things.
you need to do what you need to do.
Yeah. We're going to return to it. Let's take another call. Good morning and welcome.
Greetings, King, and greetings, Queen.
Happy New Year, boss.
No, sir, wrong. This is not the time for that. April is New Year, not January.
Oh, which New Year you celebrate? Which one is that? The Ethiopian one?
Go to school. No, listen. 7 days in our week, 58 days in our month.
Yes.
13 months in the year, not 12.
All right, sir, I hear you. Okay.
January can't be the first one. January can't. Listen me. New Year begin at spring, not winter.
All right,
Spring,
sir.
not winter. It's a Babylonian calendar when I follow, and I mix up the world and I mix up on ourselves. Don't do that.
So which one you follow?
The Creator.
All right, sir. I hear you.
You see, everything is different.
All right.
You know, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are different days in the Hebrew language. The month is not January. January represents the Babylonian Roman god. February represents them different god. And you know them things is where them created as it is to trick black people and have black people in a denial of who they are as humanity. Right? Now it's positive thing, positive time. And if you keep on teaching people the same foolishness over and over, they're not going to learn. They're not going to be no changes. All right. I hear what the lady just saying just now, Queen.
Yes.
You know, Parliament is responsible for the citizen them.
Yes.
But they don't care. As you said, if it's local people have that job, they lose it.
Yes, yes.
But nobody cares because the House of Parliament really is all about taking disadvantage of the citizen of the country. America, England, Rome, Canada, everybody tell them what to do. They can't do nothing of their own unless it comes from somewhere else. And that is where the problem is in Jamaica. Because there are so many things in Jamaica can be different, but because of England and America, Canada, and different countries, telling the Prime Minister and the House of Parliament what to do, how them to do it, and have the people in a deplorable living condition. And it's hard. Now it's January, and you know January month is really a hard month in Jamaica. It's in February.
Yes, yes.
But school is about to open back. But all these young excess fees, excess this, excess that, is a new beginning them want. That's gone to them. So how you going to continue the same, whole same, every day, every time? Nothing. Listen, man. I tell the Jamaican people, no, man. I love you, as I tell you, not dearly. But, ability, you have to change your mindset, the way you think. Start dealing with love. Love is the source. If you start dealing with love and care for your people in your community, as a politician,
yes,
every politician must go in the community, them especially those ghetto community. Find out from these people what skill they want to learn. How can you make their life better? Send them to do a skill. Get rid of the guns them in the community and the evilness of people in community that keep on bad-minding one another. The one that work, the one that not work. The one who I work, the one when I work, hate the one who I work. And him plan as weekend come and he get paid and go rob him. He go disrespect him. And Jamaica government can do better. They can do better. Both PMP and Labour right, they can make Jamaica people live a more comfortable life, a betterment life. No, I've gone to them a new year. Pay them $10,000 a week. 4 gone for bus fare, 3 gone for lunch. Well, less, nothing. So it doesn't make no difference to keep on saying New Year and everything is the same. A foolishness. The people in the country going through so much hardship. So much hardship. And nobody cares. Nobody.
So, when you're in a situation that those who could make things easier if they cared are not doing for you, then it's an eye-opening moment for you to step in and start to do more for yourself.
And that is what
Thank
it
you
is
very much.
moving. Yeah, that's what's happening.
They're not doing that, Queen. They're not doing that. They sit down and rely on hoping that the government make things better for them. The government not going to do that. Because the first thing the government needs to do, especially this year as country, my new year, call the poor people and say, listen me, all who now work, we're going to pay you to farm. So you're going to farming. So if 1 million people now work, pay the million people to farm the land.
Mobilize them.
Better for them.
Mobilize them to do something. So what
There's no job. Everybody can be a police or soldier, a doctor, a lawyer, a dentist. So majority of them are not working. Give them farming. It's easy. They provide the crop. All right, you want them plant pumpkin? Give them the pumpkin seed. You want you plant honey and Irish? Give them the things that to start them and make their farm. Once they farm, you the government now turn around, buy back the food from them and export it.
So how about
there's no job? They can't get no job.
So how about or taking? I don't mean relieve the government of duties that are properly theirs, but some of what you're saying, I see us being able to do that through the economy that we develop. People outside of government taking those decisions and pursuing some of those and teaching and drawing people into partnerships for those activities.
Queen. There's nothing hard in it, Queen. There's nothing hard in Jamaica.
I'm in agreement with you on that, except that we have to train our minds away from believing that government has the answer to all these things. Government should facilitate a lot of things.
The people, them.
All right, then we are together now.
When you go again, when you go out boat and look in St. Elizabeth and those places, the amount of land that is sitting down there idle. One man saying 100 acres, but he's not in Jamaica. And it's not 10 a group in a woodland in a forest.
But it's entirely possible that if a group of people in the area came together and tried to do a deal with that man for the use of the land for some period of time, it would be done.
That's the thing. So people have to get themselves together, as we said.
Yes.
Mobilize yourself.
Yes.
All right. You go to, say to the government, look, we have money to build a house. We can afford the land. The government is supposed to give you a piece of land to build the house, and you build in that house, employ a mason.
Right.
That's how you generate. Right. That's correct. You correct about
Yeah, man. You create jobs and you put money in circulation.
Those are the things that we are talking about. You go and you provide the necessary things for the people who will need the help. Assist them to the best of your ability. Don't sit down there and then take poor people taxpayer money and do all kind of rubbish with it. Right? While the necessary thing that needs to be done, not getting done.
True.
Right? And it's not right. The politicians, they start the road. All right? Big Christmas, you know much money they get to fix road, and they start a little so, and they reach and they stop. And nobody no go back to fix none.
Okay.
So now it's gone to them the new year start. We want to see how long it's going to take them in January and to go and start to finish back where they start. And that's how politicians do. They take the poor people taxpayer money, put it on them politician friend and tell them, so, oh, you have $120 million to do things in your community or thing. And they're not doing it.
Okay.
And nobody holds them responsible.
All right. So we agree with you.
And things needed to be changed and hold responsible, especially in the House of Parliament between PMP and Labour, right? The disadvantage when they take a Jamaican citizen, somebody need to hold those politicians responsible. Anytime you see them start going to jail, I bet the things change. But they have the law to lock them up. Everybody can do all kind of thing and then go court and they put off till 10-year time. They put off till 3-year time. And every time, it keep on doing it, going hand and hand in Jamaica.
There are some who believe, and it sounds like you're one of them, that if the same level of effort that is being put into changing the sentencing guidelines and statutory limits,
that's correct,
for murder and gun-related crimes, if we introduced something for corruption in public office, that would, yes, it sounds like, yeah.
But what about the politicians them that bring in the gun to the guys them? Those politicians need to get back up. You can't say I'm going to come in every say you to go and lock him up.
Yes.
You know, if you have a gun, it's illegal. But what about the politicians them that bring in the gun to these communities, giving these people? What about the crooked police them who take the gun, illegal gun, give it to their friend in the community and selling their bullets? There's so many corruption going on in Jamaica. Only if you naked eyes could see them. That's right.
But
that's
you know,
to be on, let them run away.
Yeah, but you know, as you say that, we have to accept responsibility now for getting that information out. Like I see a woman with a placard that say, I heard the screams. Someone should get that information and act on it. Similarly, as you talk about persons who put guns in circulation and so on, we need evidence. We have to get to the point where persons are prepared to make it known who are the ones responsible for that kind of corrupt behavior. And then, you know, the next step now is we will see the day, you know, my brother, when the same stance that is being taken against gun violence and against murders, you will see it being taken against corruption in public office. There are some countries,
simple.
Yeah, and there are countries who do it.
And that's how you shift the system.
That's how you shift it.
The solution can be solved. But the citizens of the country have to hold those in regard, in position, accountable. You can't just make them do anything they feel like and get away with it. When government do things and get away with it, oh, they love it. Because there's nobody to pursue them. The GDP, she don't have no law to lock up these cooking politicians. She don't have no law for that. It's like only the government they have law for.
But you know,
and that can't be so.
Like it or not, when we give a pass in those high offices, it is a pass for all.
Everybody.
Because everybody, like your 13-year-old youngster said, this is a place where everybody can do as they like. Because you see it being done at the highest levels. So whether we like it or not, the day has to come I mean,
Judge
yeah, it has to come. I think it is
painful.
here. I think it's
I
here.
believe it come.
And
Boss.
thank you
This
for
year.
the reasoning.
All right.
Yes, no problem. But before we go,
Yes.
one more thing.
May I have a question
Now
for you
the
too,
new
so
year
you go
thing that
first.
start to uno.
Yes.
Everybody will have cancer. Want to listen good. Go to the health food store, buy a thing named it's bicarbonate of soda, which is baking soda. But you need aluminum-free baking soda. Want to listen me now. Aluminum-free baking soda. Buy a pound of white sugar. White sugar. Get a teaspoon of black pepper. All right. 1 tablespoon of baking soda. 1 teaspoon of black pepper. Half a sweet orange juice. And use a 2 tablespoons of the white sugar and sweeten the baking soda. Sweeten them to a syrup. Anybody have cancer, take it up to a month, do a cancer test. It no matter where the cancer is. If it's prostate, lungs, breast, stomach, bone, anything, the baking soda will pop up to stage 4 cancer. But you have to sweeten it with the white sugar and put the black pepper and orange juice to carry it in the blood cells. In the blood cells. All right. A person have diabetes. This man called me and crying. His child is just 6 years old. His diabetes sugar level is 21.
Mm-hmm.
The man cry, he weep, he mourn, he say, King, how me I go manage? He say, nobody with that, easy to manage. Cersei, want to listen. Get the Cersei, don't boil it. Put it in a cup, boil up your water, throw on it. And put a teaspoon of the Nestle sweetening milk with it. A teaspoon of the Nestle sweetening milk to the Cersei tea. Take it for 9 straight morning. The man said when he done and test him in data sugar, from 21, the sugar reach, in the 9 days time, the sugar reach at 10.
So,
right?
so that is Cersei steeped with a teaspoon of condensed milk.
Carry the Cersei in the blood. Because the Cersei is an insulin producer, you know. The right name for it is called beta melon, right? A beta guard. But the insulin is the number 1 insulin plant.
And how much of it you take? You take like what, 1 cup?
Yes, man, just take a cup of it. You just a cup of it, just 1 teaspoon of sweetening milk. You steep the Cersei. Just get a little Cersei and steep. It can be 3 leaf, 5 leaf, it doesn't make a difference.
1 cup for 9 days.
Yes, mate. Twice a day. And 1 cup twice a day. Some in the morning, some in the night. And they just take it, and what it do is supply the insulin to the pancreas. Because diabetes is fat in the liver. So once you have fat in the liver, the glucose insulin can't go to the pancreas to go in the liver. Because it's blocking the liver is blocking it from going in the blood. So once you cut the fat from the liver, you're good. So there's nothing hard in it. And the people with the sore foot we can't well from the diabetes. Simple.
Yeah.
Rate of the young papa, listen. Rate of the young papa, mix it with burn kerosene oil from a lamp. When it's a burn kerosene oil, meaning you have a lamp, a kerosene lamp,
yes.
and every night you light it, that is called the burn oil. Okay?
Right.
So you mix a little of that with the young papa, just any sore. The young banana, rate of the young banana mix with the same kerosene oil, a little nutmeg, well, any sore. The next thing we will do is the susumba. Heat up the susumba leaf, mix it with a little ashes, or just a little pinch of salt and tie it on for any sore we can well, and it well it up. But there's so many things to help you this year.
I want to ask you, I have a...
Change your diet. Stop eating for Burger King, McDonald's, KFC, pizza. Those food is junk. They have no medical purpose to help you. No medical purpose. The woman with breast cancer, the panganat. Just take the panganat and look at it and you see your breast. Take the panganat, look at it, is your breast. Any breast cancer, just mix it with the baking soda, as I said. Use it with orange juice and a little black pepper. The black pepper and the orange juice carry the panganat juice to the blood, kill the cancer cell, and you don't have to cut off your breast as a woman. Please, people, it's the coming time where we have left before things change.
Yes.
Take care of your health.
Take care of
health is your wealth. Sick man, look how much money you have, your money can't help you. You need to be healthy. So if a food do not peel the food and dash where the banana skin, that's where the yam skin, that's where the potato and that's where everything. Put them down and boil them and drink the water. Please. You cook the food, dash away the skin, the best part. You dash away the water, the food cooking, the second best part. Then you heat the food. There's nothing in the food. Everything boiled out in the water and in the skin.
I have a question for you now.
What makes you live longer by using the mineral from the food that you just boil. Because if you take it and feed the pig, it gets strong. One to you, you weak. So,
that's why pork is good to eat.
Yeah, your food is a medicine, but you eat it just like cocoa. All right, my first discover white cocoa, curing HIV and cancer. You don't boil it. You just dig the coke out of the ground, wash it up, chop it up and boil it in the skin and everything. And just give them to drink with black pepper and little orange juice. So the orange juice carry the medicine straight to the blood, you know. So now if you overstand when I tell you, put something in it to carry the medicine in the blood. You can't just make something and just drink it because you want to drink it. And the next thing you can't just go to do and pick up soursop leaf and say you're going to boil soursop leaf. It have to pick from the rising of the sun. Every plant you pick for medical purpose, pick them from the east side of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning where the sun rises from.
Right,
So
I hear you.
north, south and west, don't pick that. Just pick the leaf from the west, east.
From the
and
east.
That's it.
All right,
good enough.
I have a question. I have a question for you.
That's it.
Are you hearing me? Because I keep saying I have a question for you.
Talk to me, darling.
All right. Last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, you told me about the sorrel crushed with the seeds, blended with the seeds for hypertension.
Hypertension plus cancer, number one for cancer, got B17.
Yes. So my question for you is, can you use with any of these? Can you use honey as a substitute for the orange juice?
Yes, you can use honey, but I know the honey you need and the sweetness you use. The orange juice is just what carry the medicine to the blood.
Right. So okay. And
you don't have to use no honey. You don't have to use no honey and nothing else. Just cut the sweet orange, squeeze the juice in there, that's it.
All right.
But you have a problem when you eat orange, you have a problem with the
No, I'm just asking you if honey is a substitute if all you're trying to do is use something to carry.
You just want, I know the honey, the honey carry things to the blood.
Oh,
you need just a sweetener.
Yes.
Right?
All right, my brother.
Carry the medicine to the blood. Yeah, fever grass carry things to the blood. Black pepper carry things to the blood.
Well, you had said brandy. You had said brandy or rum.
Yes, brandy, white rum, vodka, gin. All right. If it's infection, vodka. If it's pain, nerve, brandy. If it's belly pain, gin, lime, and salt.
And those things carry to the blood as well?
Yes, darling.
All right. Thank you so much.
If that man have kidney problem and he can't pee, just drink 2 words right beer, one after the other. You piss like us. I drink 2 Heineken, one after the other, you must urine.
Yes. All right, so, thank you.
Everything is there for healthy people, and is how you use them.
I love it when you give those tips for healthier living. All right, my brother, thanks very much.
Choice, man, just live to love and love to live. Remember, God never create people to die. He created people to have good health and live.
All right.
Remember, that's why I'm telling you, food is your medicine, medicine is your food.
All right, that's a good note. Thank you.
People, show them the right way, how they can live.
Thank you. I'm running now because I think we're done.
Love is life, life is love. And thank you for listening.
Yes.
Thank you for care.
Bless you. Okay. What is happening? One of the lines not working. Oh, okay. All right. I want to give a shout out to Miss Babsy.
Bodu.
Babsy Bodu. Kevin, we hear you, man. Happy New Year to you too. Thank you for healing us up. And your mommy is with you. Enjoy the time with her. Enjoy the time with your mother. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection.
Yes, hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Malvern. How you do?
I don't like people who call and they never discuss. All them do is have a monologue. The only person who them hear is themselves. They never hear other people.
Well, I was actually wondering if he was hearing me at all because I kept saying, I have a question, but he wasn't. He was on a roll.
Yeah, well, he's always on a roll. Always. He never listens to others. I want to know about sugar. To my knowledge, cancer feed pan sugar. Cancer feed pan sugar.
Yes.
I can ask any scientist.
Yes, I've read that.
We've read that, yeah.
Yes. And why is it that I notice, is it because of respect? But no question people when them make statement. These people who know everything.
No, but here now, remember, that the sugar, even as you said it, that got the alarm in my spirit. That when you say sugar as represented in the body is it's not the sugar that we consume. Our body creates sugars from what we eat.
Carbohydrate breakdown to fructose and sucrose.
Yes.
Yes, but he distinctly said the white sugar. From me, you me feel the white sugar.
Okay,
Well,
bleach
white,
out sugar.
yeah, white
bleach
sugar
down.
is of practically no value. It's not a, yeah, it would only be a threat to your health if you were consuming it as a substitute for a more nutritious form of sugar.
Yes, and also again, like I said,
what is his recipe? You know, we can't challenge him. He can't challenge him on the recipe. When, for example, I asked him, could you use honey as a substitute for the orange juice in one of the things he said? And he said the use of the orange juice is not to sweeten it, and honey would only be a sweetener. The use of the orange juice is as a transport to bring the healing component that you're looking for, to bring it efficiently to your blood. So I will ask, I can't challenge him on his recipes. The only thing is, do you believe that these things have the capability to heal and to bring value to your body? Some people don't believe it at all. They say it messes with your liver and you don't know how much you're taking in terms of dosage. And a lot of people have some strong resistance to the homeopathic remedies. Oh, it's 9:01. Can you hold my brother? We have to take a station break. Thank you.
You simply the best. You simply the
Best FM 100.5 on your dial. Keep listening.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
anywhere at all. You can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, how you do I take taxi start?
Chano, I want to tell you, say, at 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and me check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? Yeah, waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040. Or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
You big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
Try and call him, cause trust me.
What a relief.
Yes, what's coming to best 100 of them. You know what I mean? When that's that, and DJ Richie. The mix comes on every Monday to Thursday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Join us as we entertain you, inform you, and educate you on everything that will keep you in a mix on Best 100 of them. From what I vibes. Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Lady Lee, the Queen of the South, and I'm inviting you on the Trailblaze with me on the best of the best radio station, the Best 100 FM, Mondays through Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. You can't afford to miss it on your airwaves. Yes, Trailblaze with Lady Lee right here, Mondays to Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. on the best of the best, Best 100 FM. Yeah.
Half a tree. One already, 200. Ready, mama? Ready. Is this the confusion you feel when trying to work your way through medical systems in Jamaica? Try a dose of Ask Dr. Mary every Thursday at 5 to 6 p.m. Let Dr. Mary help you understand your medical problems and bring you to a calmer place.
This is your beloved Pastor Percy from the Morning Connection. Support our commitment to Jamaica by joining us on Wednesday mornings at 7:30 when we pray for the nation. Show us you care. Advertise with us. For more information, call our offices at 876-276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good. It's better. But nothing beats.
Welcome back, my brother. Thank you so much for holding.
Yes, thanks. Yes, when he says about the medicine is to be transported into the bloodstream.
Yes.
That's a concept. That sounds real. Yes,
it is.
And I think alcohol does that.
Yes. Yes. You know, you can tell it. You take a sip of rum, you feel it like go right into. You feel it move into So like the one he was talking for hypertension now, the transport part of the transport is the alcohol.
Yeah.
And he said add some orange juice. So when he said the alcohol and the orange juice, I thought that the orange juice was not so much transport. I thought it was to sweeten it a bit. Yeah, but he said no, it's part of the transport. You know, there is a lot of science and study around transporting medicine to the blood, to the body part that needs it. That is a whole science in itself.
And it's gone to another level now with the nanoparticles.
Yes.
Because now they just,
I heard about that.
Yep. That's what the mRNA therapy was. That's why it was exciting so much comment, because you could isolate a body part, give a command digitally through the computer to the thing that's carrying the medicine, and it goes directly to the cells that have the markers for it. And it is a remarkable development in science.
Still don't understand all of it.
Yes. And knowledge increases.
It does. And every time it increases, there is a certain amount of paranoia that surrounds it, because those who don't understand it fully say maybe there are some ethical concerns regarding how you use it. And because they know that while knowledge is increasing, ignorance is still there. You begin to wonder, am I harming something that's not visible to me just yet?
Yes. One last thing. They talk about New Year's and all that. I believe, from what I read, the New Year's could never be in the middle of winter. It don't make a sense.
It don't make any sense.
Makes no sense.
As he was speaking about it, I have long been, thinking about the natural cycle of things when there is, regeneration and birth.
It would be in
springtime. Yes.
Springtime. It must be springtime. Yes.
That is spring is Passover time, right? Passover and spring at the same time.
Don't know about that's correct.
Yes.
Yes, man. If you read the Old Testament,
yes.
Passover and spring.
It is.
And in fact, it is said that the beginning of the month is the year Nisan, Arabib, ABIB, Nisan. So springtime. So it's just common sense.
Yes.
Based on knowledge.
Yes.
You know that the beginning is in spring and the end is in winter.
And it makes a lot more sense.
ABC 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it makes.
Every farmer know that.
There you go. Back to the almanac. And it makes more sense to align your calculation of time and seasons with what is happening in the natural world. But after you've gone a certain distance, and the world has set certain systems to run, whether it is commercially or practically, or we were talking about the tax year on one occasion, when there's the weight of common or precedent or just habit, the weight of habit can sometimes keep you mired into doing things that defy common sense.
Yes. I think it's very important that people like yourself, what them call thought leaders.
Yes.
should move with the knowledge. You know, because you don't set laws or make laws. No, you don't. But at the same time, you can let the common people know, say, hey,
know the truth.
We think this way, and we all should, but we know that we don't make the laws.
And some of the things that are convenient and necessary for common living require us to move in a certain way. But this is the truth of things. I believe in that as well, my brother. I must know the truth.
To think.
Yes.
Very important.
And at the appropriate time, when you can change something, you know how to change it and whenever you can. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's always refreshing. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection. Good morning. All right. Do you know, when you start to look into all the research that is being done on cannabis and its usefulness in so many areas of life, the science that is emerging on how to transport the goodness of it to the right place, it is fascinating. It's fascinating because a lot of people are distracted by what is described as the harmful effects.
But there are a lot of good things in it.
But there are so many good things. Good morning and welcome.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, I'm here. Good morning to the universe.
How are you?
Still the voice of all nations, the voice of one spiritual oneness. All life give account unto the spiritual existence that is right in front of everyone's eyesight. Only few shall acknowledge and aware of that identity. Why? We are in a system that even drives fear into your mind and to your spirituality. That means you can't see the truth, and through fear, you don't analyze, recognize that identity, see yourself, and know that it's something that is right in front of you, and you cannot escape it. Anywhere you go, it is right here. It works with the light and the dark. But that dark is the spiritual dark of the universe in oneness of its creation. So no matter where you go.
What does the dark represent to you in our society now?
The dark.
Let's take it outside of just spiritual contemplation and relate it now to what's going on around us. What does the dark represent?
The dark is life.
The dark is?
And the life.
Life?
Yes.
No. Yes, but not sure I agree with you on that because.
Well, I know.
Yes.
What's happening, you know?
Yes.
Remember saying, you come into a system, you know, that drives fear. Before you enter to your mother's womb, you have in problem to come in even to this world. That is the European scene. That is a colonial system. That let go this power because they want to run earth with them earthly.
So the dark could easily be the resistance to life because
but you have negative and you have positive.
So the dark is the negative?
You want to hear about the negative?
No, I'm asking you what is representative of the dark because you can't be too mystical in the conversation. You and I might love the poetic talk, but we do have listeners and I want them to understand, to find the wisdom in what you're saying. So I have to pull from you something that makes it more relatable.
Miss Millet,
yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
If you do not recognize the identity of your spirituality, and that is what is the problem all about. We are in this system that drives fear.
But what we are saying, we recognize that everything comes out of the spiritual realm. That is a given.
You know, come out, you're within the spiritual realm that is right in front of you.
Hold on.
The physical realm, we need
brother, hold on.
to love. What are you saying?
No, I'm just simply saying to you, you said that everything that we are comes out of our spirit, right? That is what you're saying, correct?
Come out. within
without,
whom of the existent alive.
which
That
is the spirit.
That is the darkness. That is the space right now. You're in the studio. And if you look around you, you're in the light and the dark, but you see a shadow.
No,
and the
but
space that you're not like how the earth has been.
So what sustains us? What sustains us? The dark or the light? Because people
The
are
dark
looking for
It's the
survival.
oneness. This is what I'm saying,
All right, we
So the
don't
light
agree with
comes
you
as
on
a
that.
part of balance.
no, but what I'm saying to you, my brother, what you're saying, you said the dark is what sustains us, and I'm saying no.
What
The light is
sustains us?
what sustains us. Which
What?
the light. The light is what sustains us, not the
The energy
darkness.
from the light comes
Yes.
to a greater energy.
Which is
And the light
darkness.
can't circulate the universe one time. That's why you get day and night. So you want a greater energy
And which
that
is
can
what?
circulate and right in front of you.
So that
Do
is
not
what
move.
sustains us.
The light. The light.
When I
No,
when it was time for
nothing
me.
wrong with the light, because the light and the dark work together. It's a positive and negative.
Yes, but
So
one.
we want to know the identity of the light.
But one resists light and one resists life and had to be separated from the light so that life could come into existence and thrive. And you seem to be living in the dark and you want to draw me in it. I'm not living in the dark with you.
No.
All right. We have another caller. We have another call
You
this
just
morning. All
understand
right.
what I'm saying to you.
All right, my brother. Another
That energy
time.
there is
Okay.
a balanced energy, and that balanced energy is most right in front of you. You can't escape it.
All right, then we're gonna take another
And
caller,
that-
my brother.
Yeah, but you
Okay.
know what I say now?
No, man. We're going to another caller. Okay. Thank you.
Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection.
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you today?
A street man. A street man.
Aye, ordinary street man. Genius man.
I just want to wish you both a blessed 2003.
Yes.
God's blessing.
Yes.
Both of you and your extended family.
Yes, man.
Thank you very much, sir. Of course, we return it to you 1,000-fold.
Okay, I just want to touch on about three issues pertaining to government and issues here, very briefly.
Go ahead, brother. We're listening.
First one, I just want to welcome. It's been in place for quite a while. NHS.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I welcome that. For those who can't afford the medication. It's a great help to them.
Which one of them? Which one of the medication?
The NHS funds, they are on for glaucoma.
Okay, and they put on the PSA test now for men.
Yes.
And
they pay, as you said, the PSA is just added.
yes, right. So it's a good thing, and it has come out of that happened, and I think it was Mr. Patterson who was Prime Minister in terms of some of the funding. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great thing.
It's a great thing. Yes,
Yeah,
I welcome that.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome that, yes. Moving on now again. Another one. I still on the crime fighting thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's an ongoing thing. I do believe it's an ongoing thing for some time ahead. And I just want to welcome the review of the Bail Act. The Bail Act.
Yes.
They're going to review the Bail Act. I welcome that.
They've pretty much rewritten it. They're repealing the old one by introducing a new one, and they've made some far-reaching changes, some of which we will discuss in detail because it has introduced some limitations on the rights of persons who are in custody, have been detained, but have not been charged with any criminal offense. And I think we have to be very careful about that particular introduction. But you can go on. In the overall, it is good that we are reviewing the policy that pertains to bail and so on.
Mm-hmm. And yes, and as you mentioned here, thank you for that. About on the other side, I just want to, because the reason why it comes foremost in my mind is that there are so many times, I see where individuals have committed crime, and when I listen to the news and go back and check, they were given bail on some very serious charges, murders, shootings, and those very same individuals out here committing crime.
Yes.
And a number of those in last year, in 2022, they held them, run murders, shooting, and they were given bail and committing murders again. When they caught them, they realized that they were on bail for murders and for shooting.
So, I want to say something on that score because reported in that way, it would suggest that there's some carelessness in the grant of bail to persons who are charged with various offenses, and it is a narrative that we pick up. I've picked it up from the police. Except on rare occasions, judges are not careless in exercising their discretion for bail. The truth is, bail is a constitutional right. A man is presumed innocent until he's proven guilty. What is required is for the policing to step up so that judges have the best, tightest, highest level of information to consider when they are looking at bail applications. If the police gets it right, people don't get bail. People who shouldn't get bail don't get bail.
And that is a very important point to make, because remember, when the judge sits, he or she is making a decision based on what is in front of them.
Yeah.
So and so it is important for us to recognize. So if the police do their work in terms of saying, Madam Judge or sir, we do not grant this man bail because this is the evidence we have, then they now grant them bail, sir.
Yeah.
They're not gonna do that.
And most murder suspects don't get bail.
Okay.
Most of them don't get bail. Few of them, and you have to look at the ones who get it. Sometimes they are known as dons, highly connected people. So either the evidence against them is very sparse, or they are so connected that the police don't. I won't say more.
Okay.
Yes. But go ahead.
So in a sense, what you're saying there, it just really makes mistakes in that area. It is a falling down on the part of the police force.
Yes, I will maintain that every day, because the Constitution says a person who has been arrested or detained, when they come before the judge, they shall get bail, conditionally or unconditionally. They shall. The unless is where there is information
and strong evidence
to show that they should not get it. So,
thank you.
Yes, yeah.
Thank you so much for that explanation, because I was really perked up when I see so much individuals out here and shooting and murders and they ran bail.
Yes.
Let me move on very briefly. Another point. I just want the government, the Prime Minister per se, and coming from his office. Okay, the Prime Minister is responsible. When he makes overseas visits, I think there to be more
transparency. Yes.
Yes, information regarding the visit.
Yes.
And I will mention too. In last year, he made a visit to Israel, and in the latter part of the year, he went to Morocco. From where I am now, I didn't get any explanation and any transfer about visit. From where both of you are sitting and standing, do you have any information?
Not at all. Not at all. The Prime Minister, when he goes on these visits, he is like any other high-level employee who go to a conference or go to a meeting. When he come back, he must report to the people to whom he is accountable.
Right.
Unless he's on vacation and he was on a shopping trip, nobody cares except that he's safe and well treated. But when he goes to do something on our behalf, he should give an appropriate report. Now, some of the visits might involve matters of national security importance, and he can't come back and say, well, I just went and discussed XYZ because it would be harmful to the national security. But he should come back and say, I went to discuss matters of national security, and I can report that certain arrangements were put in place that will give us greater effectiveness in handling this or that. Because the criminal, them must know, lawbreakers must know that we are resourcing ourselves to address wrongdoing in this country. They must know. They shouldn't be left thinking that we are helpless and we don't have no resource and we're friendless and they can do whatever they like and go to wherever they like. I certainly approved of him saying to the US, you need to be partners with me in handling the flow of guns and drugs from your country to mine, not just the other way around. That's something he should have done a long time, and I think many of us appreciated seeing him step into that space and make demands on our behalf because we are worthy of it.
Yes. Thank you so much for concurring on that part, man. Because just repeating myself. If they are so with it, they want to Israel and they want to Morocco. I don't hear nothing at all about those visits. I don't have a clue what those two visits are about.
And it's important.
Yes,
Very
it is important.
All right, thank you so much. Have a blessed day.
You
All
too,
right,
my brother. I
Man
welcome
from the
that.
streets.
Yes.
Blessings. Another caller, I think. Welcome, caller.
Listen, now have enough time.
Oh,
But,
sorry about that.
Richard, I would say the light is the whole time that Christ salvation is light.
Mm-hmm.
And the light is also Exodus 20 and 31.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Them that the light where we need all of us collectively as one black people to return to our whole time salvation order. Christ order, Melchizedek order. And just our something, and just that we need to return to. That are the light where we need to.
All right. So like us, you are not going with the caller with the belief that the darkness is the source of our life.
Empress, that sound to me like seem to me like Humpty Dumpty, Satan Humpty Dumpty, a great father. So that sound to me.
And then okay, all right, I get you. Yes, yes. I'm sorry you don't have enough credit to give us a good conversation, but I do understand.
And I want to confess. I have to confess something.
Yes.
One time when I came and I kept talking about Africa.
Yes.
And the producer was kind of so I was kind of well vexed.
You didn't vex with us.
You know. Yes. When we sit down and the guy checked me and said, then I told the producer, I say.
Well, I love your honesty and your openness.
Take a real man for say that.
Yes, yes.
I just them create the impress before the car done it. Yes. At Jamaica, this island, I got show the world how to return to love and unity.
To the light.
Christ.
To the light.
To the light. At this island, I will do it. But I just know how to do it. And before the car done, but I love everyone every morning before 6 o'clock. Read Psalm 9, read Psalm 35,
Ooh,
and Psalm 68. I'm turned to the east when I read it. East where the sun come up. Anywhere on the island, just start read Psalm 9, Psalm 35, and Psalm 68 and read it out loud. So we can have a cacophony of Psalm 9, Psalm 35, and Psalm 68.
And 68. Well, this morning I was with you with Psalm 35.
Yeah, listen.
And yes, thank you so much. You know, before we close the show, I think we're going to refer to Psalm 35 because this is a time when Jamaicans need to be praying Psalm 35. Is there another call? Poor. Let me just, I am celebrating. We have a new AC in the studio and I am happy. I look across at the producer and the engineer and they're frozen. All right. Good morning and welcome.
Morning, love and bless. Welcome.
African, how you doing?
Thank you.
You know, my presence, I give thanks for it, you know.
Excellent.
It's good to be here, you know.
Yes, my brother.
The truth and the right. Would I like to get some of them teaching that, you know.
And the truth?
And the truth and what is right.
And what is right.
Okay.
I notice most of the teaching when we get around here are just source of lies. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And if you continue to teach a lie and what is not right, when we finish learning those things, what do you expect of us?
And you know that's what one of the caller before was saying as we talked about even just how the seasons are, how we create a calendar and what we use, and there are some things which we do out of necessity and because it makes for greater convenience, but it does not accord with what we would say then is common sense, is truth, and might even be a question of what is right if you are really honoring truth in how you set up your arrangements. And a lot of people don't understand that what they see is a false reality created for man's convenience. But if you get into some fight for your life, Like, for example, if your body gets really diseased and you are looking for a cure and the cure resides in nature, you have to come in alignment with the principles of nature. And from time to time, you hear some references being made to just understanding what the laws of nature are that work together for the greater health and well being of mankind. Then you have to know what is true and what is right.
So why we continue to fight against nature, Empress?
That me I ask myself. We have to get back to nature. No, that's a serious thing, you know.
Yes. Always, African, I've come to realize that the things that work for your greatest good come with pain and inconvenience. And you yourself, because you don't want the pain and inconvenience, you put up with a lot of less than until you reach a point where it threatens your survival.
Right. And you talk about that, African. I often talk to my son. I have a young son, and I says, you need to go to bed at a certain time because of the circadian rhythms that your body operates on, which is what they've discovered. There are certain times that your body need to be resting, and it helps you to be restored. And we walk out it, and one of the things I've discovered, you know why God said we must rest? And why I put that in nature? Because he knows that's when restoration happens. That causes healing, restoration happens.
So it's the time, if we're going to change the law of nature.
We can't change the law of nature.
It come back to bite us.
Yes.
Let do it, man.
No, man, we don't change it. We mess with it. We try to jig it, but it remains unchangeable. And that's why we have problems. If we could change it, then it would change. But we can't change it. We create conflict. And we have conflict. Yes.
But that's when we go against it.
Yes. No, that's a better way to say it.
You see the amount of problem we create by going against nature?
Yes.
It's going to be unsolvable, Miss Minette.
Yeah, it puts us at the risk of extinction. Can you hold African because we're gone 2 minutes past the station break?
Miss Minette, we can't have it done. We can't have forward, yes?
Yes,
All right,
my
then.
brother. I thank you for that.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
You can call us on 926-386-66.
We are something special on the road.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-3825-8 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Half a tree, 100. Bossy, how you do I take taxi start? Chano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and me check everybody and can't hear nothing positive. Yeah, hear me? Yeah, waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me send you. You big star. Yeah, man. Respect my boss. Try and call him because trust me. What a relief.
Half a tree. One already, 200. Ready, mama? Ready. Is this the confusion you feel when trying to work your way through medical systems in Jamaica? Try a dose of Ask Dr. Mary. every Thursday at 5 to 6 p.m. Let Dr. Mary help you understand your medical problems and bring you to a calmer place.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Lady Lee, the Queen of the South, and I'm inviting you all to trailblaze with me on the best of the best radio station, the Best 100 FM, Mondays through Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. You can't afford to miss it on your airwaves. Yes, Trailblaze with Lady Lee right here, Mondays to Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. on the best of the best, Best 100 FM. Mwah.
This is your beloved Pastor Percy from the Morning Connection. Support our commitment to Jamaica by joining us on Wednesday mornings at 7:30 when we pray for the nation. Show us you care. Advertise with us. For more information, call our offices at 876-276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Welcome back, caller. How are you this morning? Welcome to the Morning Connection. Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Cruz.
Cruz, how are you?
Not bad.
I see a principal in the news, man.
Principal. Which
Mr.
principal?
Wellington from
From States?
Yes.
What about him? I didn't saw the news.
Talking about football and the use of students as being in the Premier League. Anyway, go ahead.
I have two things to talk about, but I tried to call earlier, but I didn't get through. There was a headline in the Star sometime, I think it was last week or Monday or the other week, about the doctor say. Do you guys read that thing?
When I do get the Star, yes.
And there was a headline saying that some male wasn't performing in bed, but they put an older man with gray hair. Are we the only one that don't perform proper?
So they slandered you, they libeled you.
Yeah.
You'll have to dye your hair.
I'm gray. I'm 65. But what I'm saying, I saw those young guy abusing alcohol, and when if you see 20 bikes, it's 40 men. In my days, I used to ride bike, and it's always a girl on my bike back, or my son.
All right, so now you're making some confessions that you probably don't want to. Are you saying... You're saying gone are the days for you too?
No, I'm just saying why they have to put, they should have put both like a middle age, like somebody about 40 or 30, or maybe 60, so when you get older, the tree's gonna die. It's a must. The tree's gonna slow down and stop their amount of fruit. Anyway, the other thing I want to ask about, are any of you guys JP?
Yes, I am.
Miss Minette, are you?
Oh, no, I'm not.
Your husband?
No.
What I'm seeing a trend here, it's like this government is putting a lot of JP, and it's like they want them to solve crime.
Not is like. It's not it's like.
A part of the fight.
The two things you have mentioned are absolutely true. This government is commissioning a lot of new justices of the peace, and they are seeking to do it across various age groups as well. They are very keen on having younger persons fully represented in the cohort of new JPs. That's one. Two, they have said time and time again that the duties of the new JPs include certain things in the they're counselors, they're restorers of peace in the community, and as most recently I saw something that caused me to say, they so announced that JPs are deputized as police. because some new duty was being foisted on them by who was it again? It was Minister Chuck.
It's Chuck, man. It's Chuck responsible.
He's the one
always making something, and these are volunteers.
What I'm saying, most JP have a business to run and their family.
Are you a JP?
And it's like, what?
Are you one of them? You're a justice?
I will never work for the government. When you work for government, you're a slave.
Well, the first thing is being a JP is not work. They don't pay you for it. Two, it's not for the government. It's for the people.
The community.
It's for your community.
Miss Minute.
Yes.
There are some JP I know from my era. They should never have been a JP. I know them from I was a child.
Why? Why?
Can't talk on the ear.
But do you know? Do you know that
police record?
But do you know that if you make a complaint about the integrity or the behavior of a justice of the peace, it is taken seriously and would be investigated.
And they will take away.
By who?
By the police.
By who?
Because let me explain something to your crew. In that you raise it, in order to be justice of the peace in the new dispensation, you have to have a police record. You have to you have to get a police record as a part of the thing. No,
a long time you just have to be popular and
but I'm saying that's why I said the new dispensation. They request that you do present a police record. But for me, Cruz, I see it as service to my fellow Jamaicans because a lot of things are needed in passport, certification of documents, all different kind of things. So it's serving my fellow man. For a long time.
I believe this JP drive right now is to help with snitching. Like JP know a lot of people and but a lot
who would be the snitches? The JP would be the snitches, or they would receive information from other persons.
Right. But a lot of them are corrupt, especially these younger ones. They want what they want. No, that's the thing, especially even with young politicians. They want what they want. No, just like cricket, they want to reach right now. Cricket is not a gentleman game anymore. It's all about money. Everything right now is about money. So you can't just pick up all these people, turn them into JP, and then
so you think
corruption.
So you're speaking to the integrity of the potential JPs, sir?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, all right. That's an opinion, and it is one that needs to be considered also when
the concern that I have is that the JP structure and even the name of it, Justice of the Peace, it is a kind of it's a quasi partly judicial appointment that brings you into a fairly senior position in the whole architecture of civil society, and it was based on knowledge of people in your community, persons who have the respect of the persons in the community. Not just respect, but people trust you and would confide in you and come to you for not just to sign documents and authenticate, but for counsel. And you need a certain level of maturity, which I think is missing from the way the government is doing it now. You need to have a certain level of maturity in order to do a good job of it. And that seemed to be out the window. First thing, them having things like a national JP, you have jurisdiction over the whole island of Jamaica. To me, that's foolishness.
Miss Minute, it's just like the police force right now. I see some little kid wearing khaki suit in the police force that can't even pull up their brief. That should happen.
Well, you're betraying your age now. But I understand the point you're making. We shouldn't, when we are desperate or we are, our back is against the ropes, we shouldn't lose the standards that add to the quality and the excellence of whatever it is we're putting out.
Miss Minute, you didn't get me right. You didn't understand what I said. I see some new inspectors and whatever you call them in khaki suit. They're little kids. They have no experience. You need experienced policemen to guide the young ones.
Okay.
No, I understand what you're saying. I do understand what you're saying.
No, we understand that.
Yeah.
But it also is dependent on your disposition. For years, because I was a marriage officer, people thought I was a JP. And I said, no, it is when for me personally, what I decided, because I want to serve people, it's kind of a difficult. You see somebody and them running up and down and they can't find a JP. And I say, no, what happen? Let me do that to serve because it costs, because we don't charge people. But one of the things in terms I said to people to get the stamps and the different things outside of the seal that you get, which is given to you by the government, to make your work much easier, there's a whole lot of stamps and things that you have to have, and you have to pay for them. That's one of them things.
Yeah. All right,
But
Mr.
thanks,
Cruz.
Cruz. Bless you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yes. Good morning and welcome.
Yes, good morning, Miss Bennett.
Good morning.
Sir.
What is the solution towards happening around us now with crime and violence and murderer and rapists? What is the solution, Miss Minute?
What do you think? Let me put the question back to you because
No, you can't put a question back to me, Pastor. I ask you, man.
no, we know what it is, because we have.
So share it. Let's share it. Let's share it. Let's share it. Let's share it. My brother, I know based on my experience, and I have enough maturity now to feel that my knowledge is credible. I know that we're not going to shift behaviors, antisocial behaviors, criminal behavior that show a rejection of society, behavior that show hatred of self, behavior that show a determination to survive by taking from others. I know we can't change that by using big stick through law. We can't change it with carrot and inducements either. We have to do the hard work of retraining people in terms of their spiritual life and well-being, their knowledge of self, their knowledge of God. We know that it is hard, painstaking work, and we're going to lose some because some are going to die, some are going to give up, some going to fail at the attempt. But it takes hard, slow work. Right now, and we have to address everything because people turn to crime out of frustration, anger, rage, disappointment, and some just don't have the skills to go and pursue something that will make a difference at the time that they need it. So we know we have to address
multifaceted.
A lot of things in the society. The education that we give our children, the health care that we have available. Some people turn to crime because they might try buy medicine for them picnic or their mother or even for themselves. And they find that it's not happening. So there are a number of things we have to fix at the social level.
Yes.
But yeah, so yeah.
Yes, Miss Smith.
Let me give you a holy
Those are words you speak it, baby. It's coming like without the spiritual connection, it don't value there, baby.
Yeah.
Because everything you got to do, Miss Minute, have to identify your identity. That is the God who you praise, Miss Minute.
Yes.
He's right in front of you, Miss Minute. And through that God,
and
the solution comes through the Spirit of God Himself.
That is true. And this is where now I agree with you.
To liberation, repatriation and centralization to the mindset, Miss Millet. We're coming to a period of mental slavery through the mind that trapped with for not knowing our true identity.
And this is where me and you agree now. Say that is
we agree a long time, but you need to get the root of yourself in order. With the maker in you that is right before you at this moment. And at this time in this minute. He's here, dear, and everywhere. No one escapes that identity. It is the image of the reflection of yourself that is a shadow with light throughout the universe.
All right, my brother.
In oneness, everyone who are listening to the radio at this moment, at this time, identify everything in oneness because you're in this place of life.
All right. You know, this is the last call. This is the last call that we're taking. Yes. Yeah, man, I love it that you called back and you said something that really made a lot of sense for me in this moment here. Thank you so much.
Come in the mood.
Yes. I love it.
The mindset is a power, Miss Minnie.
Yes. I love it. All right. Bless up. Okay. Wow. That's a great note on which to end, actually, because that problem is bedeviling everybody now, and everybody is reaching for a quick fix. And yeah, the quick fix can do a thing in short order, but it's only in short order. You're gonna be right back to where you began. You were. In fact, you're gonna be worse off because when we brace up ourselves with so many repressive laws, and when we follow a certain path in terms of how we treat one another, especially those who are so vulnerable amongst us, victims of crime, and the very ones that we are calling violence producers, because they are victims too. They didn't just occur. They are the product, they are the fruit of some very bad seed that we planted time ago. And they are also our responsibility. Whomever we can. Why is Lowell laughing at bad seed?
You know, I said, no, but
Pastor, you take it. That's it. Lowell dying with laugh across the way. Bad seed. We plant bad seed. Like when I got the corn that was all withered and yeah.
tried to plant.
And we did plant good corn.
No,
we
but-
thought we planted good seed.
No, but you see,
Yeah.
and it is a recognition by us as a society. You call it bad seed. There are some seeds that we've planted a long time ago, and even recent time, and we are reaping
The harvest
the
of
harvest
it now.
of it.
Yeah.
And so it is time to stop, take stock, turn around, go in an opposite direction, but know it's going to be a painstaking process for us as individuals, but also in our communities as a nation. There's no quick fix. But you see, we have leaders who think in terms of they think of us as a corporation. You quick profits and you do that and you, oh yes, man, and you do that for a time, and then because it did some bad things, like in companies, you begin to see further along the road. You see the quick profit early, but then the long-term thing, you lose it. But that's what it is. It's interesting how darkness came back in a different form. Today, darkness changes voice on us.
I don't call him darkness.
That's what he calls it.
Yeah.
It's what he calls himself.
Yeah, I never understood why. But I think he had rebranded.
So he's,
Anyway, I love it. He's very poetic.
and he does it.
And
yeah,
his thoughts are deep, and sometimes you have to just be persistent in getting the value from it. But there
we
is
ask a
value.
serious question. How are we gonna fix it?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
can't fix it. No.
It is a question that everybody's asking, and we always reach for the shortcut answers, and that don't get no. What they said, shortcut draw blood.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that? Shortcut draw blood. Right. So thank you to everyone on air online. May I read some glorious things online, but we don't have no time to. But I'm gonna share one with you that just tickles me. Somebody asked, "Is chicken back nutritious?" Somebody else says, "If chicken back never nutritious, me wouldn't be here." No, sir. But yeah, the thoughts are deep. Thank you so much. Tomorrow morning, are we going to the Ligani Club? Maybe not. All right. We'll be around tomorrow morning. It's the surprise. Take care, everyone, and thank you to those in the house who have made this morning possible. Pastor Percival.
How could I know?
Bless you always.
2023?
Thank you.
Oh my Lord.